Nice squeeze. Where's that motherfucker? Aiden? Who's this older lady? Because it's cute. Damn, Blue, I can get it. Windex. They put Windex in a spray can? Oh my god, this would be a whole science room show. Did you ever see my group chat we ran through? I don't think so. No, it's cute. Really? Yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up. Alright, are you done? Yo, dog. You're a nice.
Do you think that Joe Biden should run for re-election in 2024? It's either that or Trumper, and that would be just devastating. Why? Because I think that he is a rapist. What makes you think
He's a therapist? A rapist. Oh. You think he's a rapist? Honestly, like, if you really want to know my opinion, he has been famous since he was like a young man. You don't have to rape. Can't rape willing bitches. Just grab him by the pussy.
As a 63-year-old woman, I have spent decades using various anti-aging creams.
Cool. I hate British people so fucking much. It makes me sick.
Let me ask you something. What rate of immigration do we have in 2020? Do you know anything? I asked you a question.
Go, dog. I think they just fucking went to open borders. It's like 3,000 people are coming. It's like, or more than that, like 100,000. However many. You could just be like, no, and we'll shoot you if you come over the other side. I don't know the lyrics. Really? Yeah, they never played that song from where I went. So that's terrible. What's this? Bitcoin has the sensor? Dispenser. Why don't you use words anymore correctly? Do you like this bitch? I already hate her. Who would you have wanted if you could have anybody as Twitter CEO? Caitlyn Jenner? Why? I don't know. I think probably keep people on it. This is just some liberal bitch. No one gives a shit. Come on, give me something crazy. Give me fucking a conservative decathlete who's transgender, which makes him super liberal. I'm not so big on him being conservative, but I am. Would you like Caitlyn Jenner? More than this bitch. Anybody? This is another Wojcicki. No one gives a shit about these bitches. Really? Yeah. She looks like Deb Musser. Really? Yeah. Could have made it Deb Musser. That would have been a. Should have made it Aunt Sid. It's just a whole bunch of bullshit. What's going on? Sheriff is pissed that the news was out the 13 and shot at police, so he live streams it on Facebook and shows their names and faces. Why are we blurring people's faces? Why don't you show everything? Oh, this guy. Who's this guy? I like this guy where he's like, they had that one creepy kid, creepy cop, and he's like, we fired him. It's done or something like that. I like this guy. Do you? Yeah, you could have made him the Twitter CEO. I just want somebody who's transparent. And this bitch from NBC Universal seems boring. They should make this motherfucker governor of Florida. Yeah, no one died. They shot a cop. Kind of win-win. Win. 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 They should rename Hyundai Win. Really? Yeah. I had a piano like that when I was a little kid, and it had this function on it where it would automatically play the notes, and it would play a song. And my grandparents did not know this, and I go there and I boom, and it'd play like I could play like real like anything. They're like, "Oh my god, wait, this kid's a prodigy." I was like, "Yeah, I'm really smart." So then my fucking cousin goes over to their house, and he's bored, and he starts doing the same shit. Like, oh, that's a setting on the fucking piano. I guess that was a lie that I told my grandparents, but like I Fortunately, I mean, not fortunately, but they were 12 when I died. What? I was 12 when they died. And um, I was like, I never, I want to say never. I got on my grandmother's nerves a lot, but that's not necessarily my fault. I was a kid. I was generally well behaved. She just, poor thing, was just whatever, herbal smokes with the fucking mask on, going at it like I'm fucking gambling and drinking and fucking going. And it's not at all an alcoholic. Not at all. She'd have one beer a night, and my grandfather would have a highball. And they just had this nice, it was like the nicest little arrangement where before they went to bed, they would, she, she'd have a drink. Sometimes I think she had wine or something. But usually she had just the cheapest fucking beer. Why? It's what she liked. I mean, they didn't have a lot of money, but that doesn't say they had a lot more money than my parents. But they were. It was just the nicest way they would end their night, where my grandpa would say, "Want a highball, toots?" She'd say, "Oh, sure," and then they're just smoking away, just clouds of smoke. She had her drink, and he had his drink, and I'd sit in the middle, and they would talk, but didn't really have anything. And they'd listen to the radio or something, and play. Sometimes they'd play cards or read. I mean, like usually, from what I recall, the light was off, and they would. Sometimes the light was on, but I mean, I just remember it kind of being darker because it was night and stuff. Really? Yeah. Anyway. Well. Oh, anyway, I was like, I can't tell you. Yeah, I had that piano thing. I remember my grandparents were like that was the worst lie I ever. I never. Well, I pissed my grandma off, but she would get pissed at a lot of things. It was just like my grandfather really loved me. So did my grandmother, but she was in physical pain, and she was having to take care of my grandfather at points, and then she had a little kid running around. But um, my grandfather really liked me, and we were best friends. He was 12. You were 12 when he died? Yeah, I think so. Or I would no, I was 11. I was 11. Yeah. And oh my god, my girl was died December 18th. That's Justin's birthday. But yeah. Wow. You should why you remember that? Like, well, it was my grandma. The day my grandmother died, so it kind of sticks out. You're like, oh yeah. Why? Because he was always. One time, Yosh came into our room. He was wasted, and he was pissed. This is like the one time I remember Yosh being pissed, and he's like, he was just really jealous one night, and he comes in and he's like, we're like, you want a game? He's like, yeah. But we gotta have a talk. He's like, what's this talk? He's like, how you guys are around just seem like, what are you talking about? He's like, I know how she flirts with you guys. We're like, we're friends. What are you talking about? And we don't flirt with her. She's your girlfriend. We're like, obviously to him, like, she's your girlfriend. If anything, we just sit in our chairs here and look at this fucking TV. We don't ever go to her place. She comes to our room. We're not like, what is this flirting you're talking about? He's like, oh yeah, she comes in. I've seen how she is. She comes in and she'll put her hands on like your chair, or like run her fingers through your hair, I'm like, I'm like, yo, she does not do that. She might be like this, but that's not like I'd be like, yo, she is your girlfriend. She is not at all. Like we have no interest in her at all. She's hot as fuck, but she's your girlfriend, and even today I want you guys to be together. So I mean, he just came in super pissed, and we're like, dude, what are you talking about? She's like, he's like, yeah, I know how it is. But like, yo, she and I could really say, I'm like, yo, she's coming here 1,000 times, and she has touched at least me, maybe allegedly, but like once ever in the whole time I've ever known her. And it was like he's like, and I was like, yo, she's just like we're just fucking gaming, and she'd come in and like get our attention. Like it wasn't like at all. I'm talking about this 15 fucking years later. I'm telling you, yo, we had this is the fact, absolutely, positively no feelings for her. Really, she was like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I don't think my sister'd be that cool. Really, yeah. So, or cheer cap, whatever. Um, maybe though, I might have sisters that cool. Perhaps, really, whatever. Oh, dude, look at this. Hi, nice queen. There's your back. You're in love with her. I'd be like, Yosh. But he was really like, he's like, you guys, you, you guys. I just remembered what sticks out in my head is, I see how you guys flirt, and it was like, Yosh, you are always here when we're together. We don't do anything that is like at all sexual with her. We didn't even hang out with her until like the last 3 months of our college careers. Well, I shouldn't say it, with her friends, where anything could have even happened. She would just come over and literally we would just play video games. I mean, I don't know what more, but Yosh was wasted this one day. He just came in and he just was really overly jealous. And then so, so we gave her whatever. It was just like just totally. He gets even drunker with us, and he's just wrecked. And he goes and we're like, yo, it's time for you to go. He's like, you should go to bed. You're pretty drunk. Okay, so we go to bed. Whatever. Go to the dining hall or fucking La Fortune. Anyway, Yosh comes back and keeps gaming like for the morning. Anyway, so he passes out and he would take this whole blanket and he'd come in like a whole blanket. He goes back across the hall. He wakes in the morning and he comes in and he's like, I owe you guys an apology. I'm so sorry. I was talking out of my ass. We're like, yo, it's fine. You're um you're fine. You're just like being a little jealous, but and I can say, I mean, like when I had a friend who had a girlfriend, I wanted them to get married, so I never want to have anything to do with that. Our friend who was my roommate in college, he was, I don't know, he probably had a crush on her, I guess, but not like just because she's very attractive, but not because he had feelings. I could tell, yo, straight up, 15 years later, never once did I ever hear anything that I ever thought was like, oh, I hope they break up so that I can date her. Anything like that. Never, never, never. I mean, it hurt me when I went left for law school. All my friends told me the day you left was the day it all fell apart. Like I was the glue of all my friends, and I could see that when I came back twice to visit them. they were just a mess. I mean, uh, they were just going to bars and getting super, super drunk, starting fights with people, and I don't know. We just didn't do that. What did you guys do? Just fucking play video games? No, I mean we did other things, but I don't know. I was just kind of older than they were. Not really. Justine was older than I was by 8 days or something. 8 days exactly. But I just remember it made me feel really good that like I had like I was mature because like had a mature impact on them, but it just fell apart. Like Justine and Yosh broke up, and they would fight, but like it was like they always got back together by the end of the night. The one time I've told the story 1,000 times. The one time they had the longest fight they ever had, I think it was 3 days. Justine, Justine, and we had to get them back together. So what had happened was, okay, we're gaming. We got the Halo here and like ESPN here, and we're just like literally like, and Justine and Yosh had some kind of fight. They fought a lot, but it was always stupid shit. And um, why would they fight? You have to ask them. It was stupid shit. And it's like stuff I don't fucking remember. They probably don't either, but it would be like, Yosh should just be like, that's because it's your time of the month or some bullshit. He'd say something that's kind of offensive. Um, he wouldn't say something like that, but it would be like stupid, stupid shit. He'd be like, uh, he'd come in and be like, man, Justine's really not necessarily getting on my nerves, but like she's just whatever. A big one was like, it was a thing. I remember this was a big thing. Okay, so here's an example. She had, she's like some fucking Filipino princess or something. I don't know. Her like mother, grandmother is like was like some kind of queen of something. I don't know, some fucking big deal. And so they were gonna go back for her grandmother's birthday or some kind of fucking ceremony. And Yosh was dragging his feet about going. He's like, well, I was always like, Yosh, what are you doing dragging your feet about this? You get to go meet her fucking family. It's a big deal. Like, that's great. And he's like, no, that's the thing. I have to meet her family. And then it's like, it's going to be like official then. Like, Joe, you've been married, fucking dating this girl for 4 fucking years. What are you type? But he's like, no, but then it's like, then we're going to have to get married. And I don't know about how I feel about that. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yo, what do you think? You guys are like, that's what happens with people. And he's just like, she's just putting a lot of pressure on me. And I'm just not ready for all this pressure. I'm like, yo, what do you, that's the natural progression of it. It's like, and he's like, yeah, but I don't know. She just like she's putting pressure on me. Okay, fine. So this is like that's like a that was an issue, but this isn't why they fought. But that would be like one of the reasons. Okay, fine. So it'd be like, well, yo, what's the big deal? She's like, well, I gotta go to the Philippines and I'm gonna meet her grandma and do all this other stuff. And it's like, he's like, I don't know. I mean, it's just like then we have to get married and everything. And like, nobody says you have to get married. You could still not. Okay. Anyway, but it's like she wants me to do all these things and I'm just not ready for it. Fine. And so this one day we hear this knock on our door. No one ever knocked on our door. Ever. Real, I mean, occasionally. We knew we were like in trouble. And I remember she came in and She's like, "Hey guys, hey Mike, hey Mark, how are you? Good. Where's Yosh?" She's like, "Oh, I don't know where Alex is, but as you know, we've been kind of fighting, and I bought him this Xbox, and if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna take it back to my condo." We're like, "What are you talking about? We are playing this thing." As she's doing it, she's like, "Yeah, just you can ask Alex about it." Basically, we're like, "You're taking our fucking X," because we had basically just taken Yosha's Xbox that Justina had given to him. Now, in his defense or whatever, I can say this: I'm an indigenous person. She was Indian giving this motherfucking thing. She had given this thing to Yosh. Well, to my knowledge, she gave him a whole Xbox set and everything, and then took it back when they fought, which I guess is cool too. I mean, not really. It's like it was a gift or whatever, but she's smart, and so she's like, "Dude, all I have to do is fucking take this Xbox, and I'm gonna have a boyfriend back in 48 hours." So we're like, "Are you serious? You're taking the Xbox?" She's like, "Yeah, I mean, it is mine, and maybe she didn't give it to him, but she's like, I did buy it." And we're like, "Okay." Literally, she's like undoing chords as we're in the middle of playing, and we're like, "Okay." And she's like unplugging shit, and it's like, "Oh," we're like still going. And she's like, "All right, well, I guess I'll be seeing you." We're like, "What in the fuck is going on here?" We call up Yosh. We're like, "Yosh, get your ass to 224 immediately. What in the fuck are you doing?" He comes in. It's like, "Dude, what are you doing? Justine just came in and took our Xbox, which is your Xbox, which is her Xbox. What in the fuck happened?" He's like, "Oh, we're just fighting or whatever." We're like, "Yosh, listen, you have 10 fucking minutes to get on the phone and apologize to this girl. I don't give a shit what you did wrong or what she did wrong. We need our Xbox back." I mean, that Xbox was back in like within 24 hours or so. But it was like, "Yosh, get your ass to that condominium. Do whatever the fuck you need to do, but you better come back with this fucking Xbox. Like, you will. We're not letting you back in the room. You can't do that to us. Give us access, full on access to your fucking Xbox for years and not let us have it back. Are you fucking serious? Go." And I remember, like, well, I guess we can play PlayStation, which we did. It's not like we fucking, like, but it just wasn't the same. It was. I mean, I prefer NC to Halo, but that's just because I was sick of it. Anyway, so Yosh comes to the door. He doesn't knock. Nobody knocks. It's like people like Kramer walking into our fucking place. But I remember this one time, just he might not. Really? Yeah, I mean, here's how it would be. Our door would be like, well, it was closed usually because we're fucking. Oh yeah, no, no, no. She would knock. People did start to wait. Did they knock? They would feel our door. And there were only a couple reasons why we ever locked our door. One was beat off sessions. We'd either like we go in Jack and Yosh's room sometimes to wank it. I wank it on this fucking on this leather couch. They're like double. They had like tiered seating. Their fucking room was just it was amazing. It was two levels, but it was disgusting. He had Lyle Reptile. We probably saw him wank it a bunch of times. It was just strange. So it wasn't strange. It was oddly arranged, kind of where they had like tiered seating and they had all kinds of shit was everywhere. Anyway, and our room was bigger than their room. I think we might have had one of the biggest rooms, not the biggest, but biggest doubles on campus ever in terms of cubic footage, definitely. So we don't. And then when we were token, or let's just say, how would we do it? We had these big fucking box fans, and the wind would come through one end and out the other. And then my friend Lucifer King, he taught us this. You take toilet paper, or like, yeah, toilet paper roll, and fucking fabric softener, and put a rubber band around it, and let the smoke go out it. And I mean, how we didn't get caught. And we would just smoke like motherfuckers in a fucking dorm. That's the driest fucking dorm for this of all time. So anyway, we were always really afraid of getting caught. And I mean, the wind that we would get through our room, it was like a fucking wind tunnel. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It was so the wind, because we had two fucking huge box fans going in, and then we just spray the whole fucking place full of Febreze 1,000 times. We had it down to a science, and we had to because we were risking our entire college careers on this. And we would take a towel and put it by the door. And this one time, oh my god, this one time Yosh was like, because like Jack didn't necessarily know what it smelled like. Yosh did. Yosh was Alpine Blazer, but he didn't do it during school. So Yosh comes up and he's like, dudes, you guys are, you guys got to be careful. Like, what do you mean? He's like, I can smell it downstairs at the main stairwell, which is a long way away. He's like, I could smell it instantly. Like, oh, we're like, oh shit. How we never got caught was a fucking miracle. Because our man downstairs, Castro, we used to call him, this is his name, Jorge Castro, I think. We used to call him Fidel. Anyway, he got caught. He got fucking booted from campus. Really? Yeah. And I think he had to like spend an extra year there or something, semester or something. But he got kicked out of the dorm. And I take a lot of credit for that because they had the ARs and RAs and things had to know first level, the first floor, which is just a bad move. Where we were doing it at least on the second floor where they could go over people's heads a little bit. Anyway, so we locked the door for that, and then we locked the door for wank session. Never ever would we ever lock the door any other time. We might be gone for a break, and we'd leave our fucking door open. It was like the most, it was the safest environment I think we'd ever have of stuff where people respected your. I want to say respect. People stole stuff from us, but it was like beer. It was never like they knew we didn't have. At least I didn't have any. But and that isn't to say we didn't take stuff from other people. Like it was like it's mutual. Like I don't have any shaving. Can you use their shaving cream? That's not going to be a big deal because they're going to come in and they're not going to have toothpaste, and I'm going to have toothpaste, and they're going to be using that, and they can use it for as long. I mean, that was, or like somebody might be like, I don't have dip, or they'd be like, that was a big one too. Our friend Billy, got into it where with dip. Really, yeah, he'd be like, it just we knew where these fucking we had hockey pucks. We just knew. I don't want to say we were just, but it was a very good environment. It was like we stole from each other, quote unquote, but it was not theft, or at least I didn't consider it to be theft. It was like understood. Um, did you ever take from anybody else? No, I mean, Yosh basically. Oh, like I took my friend Jack's jacket. I wore that in my senior picture, and I took it out here, and I called him and I said, "Hey, I've still got that jacket of yours," and he's like, "Keep it, don't worry." Really, yeah, it was very cool about that. Why? Because I didn't have a blazer, and I remember the arms were too short on it for me, so I always had to pull them down like this. I'm a little bigger. Well, he was bigger, but I'm a little. I was a little bigger than Jack was, and anyway, Yosh um, comes in and he's like, We're like, dude, you need to go to Justine's and do whatever the fuck you either apologize or do whatever you have to do to get that fucking Xbox back. Like, what is going on? So he comes, it's like, I don't know, a couple hours go by, and he comes to the door, and we're like, where's the Xbox? Like, he's not even like, hey, welcome. Where's the Xbox? He's like, we gotta talk. And it's like, what? He's like, yeah, Justine and I are done. It's like, what? Did you not just hear us? Go get that fucking Xbox, dude. Go do whatever. He's like, no, we're done. He's like, it's over. We're like, dude, you were just together for 3.5 years or whatever until this fucking incident occurred, whatever the fuck it was. Go get that fucking Xbox. He's like, the fuck was that? These folks are pretty fucking like for being over that. We're like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Is that virtual for a hotel or that? Or Queef Town USA tickets, whatever you want to be ready. It takes $23 to try that. All those places. It's 1,000 miles. Seems long. Anyway, like, Yosh, what do you mean it's over? It's like, we're done. We're looking at it like, no, you're not. We said a workshop promo for right? Or Queef Town USA tickets, whatever you want to do. Okay. We're like, Yosh, you need to go apologize. He's like, I got you. And he goes into the hallway and has all the Xbox and stuff. He's like, oh, thank God. Okay, fucking plug it in so we can game. We were gaming within 3 minutes. Really? I mean, we're online and shit. Really? Yeah. The one time I've ever had very good internet was at least at the university. Really? Yeah, they had very good. They had a system called Nomad. It was very good. Join my chat room. Done. Done. Maggie, done. What's her sister's name? I don't know. Her brother be some kind of model someday, I'm sure. Like, what's his name? Matthew Dunn. Is he cool? He was really nice. Their whole family was very good looking. Like, yeah. Like, who does she look? I don't know. She's attractive. But I think he probably would be the most attractive of their family. He, I think, could probably be. What is that company? Balenciaga? He looked like a Balenciaga model. Is that a thing? Balenciaga? Oh, yeah. Yeah. He looked like that dude. Anyway, are you done? So then we just continue to game. Anyway. Why did I tell that story? No one knows. No, she. So, so if you didn't know, the fucking as I said, I'm like, the microwave's gonna blow the fucking power there. Did it? Yes. And then what happened? Then I was cooking my shit, and that fucking asshole shut it off. Really? Yeah. And then I tried to get him on camera, and I didn't. Anyway, I'll get him. I don't understand his obsession. Are you done? Logan, get your space together. Oh my God, he's still going. Oh damn, that's cool. Super sad. So that what you had? Yeah. Is it possible to go here to his followers and search them? No. Is that the end of your story? You know what's the funniest thing about this is my roommate in college. That wasn't even his room. That's what good relationship we had with everyone, where it was just like, yeah, if anything fucks up, like, I get, like, would it have been the other person's fault? Technically, it would be like signing a lease. It's essentially like you signed a lease and let somebody else live in your room that you had rented, and it was just like no big deal, which is just crazy. Really? Yeah. You're just so funny. I still laugh about this. You guys are always flirting with her. It's like, yo, what are you talking about? You guys are always, you are all, we never ever, I mean, and he should know after I graduated, I would call her, but not at all like I would call her for girl advice. Really? Absolutely. And like she was my girlfriend space, girl space friend. I would always say that girl space friend. And, but it was never, ever, ever, at least on my end, but I'm sure on her end too. It was never, ever, ever. We talk about Dubai and we talk about California. I mean, she moved out to California after college. Um, and I probably had a lot to do with that. Well, so did Yo. I think Yo's living out here too, but they had already perhaps broken up by then too. I don't know. But because I wouldn't shut up about California. Anyway, is that the end of your story? But I could just tell him. I mean, I still miss their friendship. Not more than any girl I've ever their friendship the most. Um, well, there's a weird one, Mary Strebinger. She's not, but it was just she was a different kind of girl, and I never did anything wrong to her. We talked a whole bunch. We were really good friends. I'd go to her room and things like that. But then, like one day, she just like she's very artistic, and she just went in her own direction, and we stopped talking. But she lived in Steads before I did. She'd be like the first female liver and liver person who lived in Steads that I knew. Really? Yeah, she lived there in the summer. I go visit her occasionally. But did you like her? She's very pretty. Um, I think a little bit. All these different kind of girlfriends, but they were all kind of like princessy, and she was very artistic, and that's what made it different. So that's the person whose friendship. That's an interesting choice. Of all the girls you've known, whose friendship you miss the most? There have been other girls too, but I miss Fumble's friendship. We talk about really interesting things. Anybody else? I miss a lot of those friendships. Miss the Federal Reserve, but like we didn't talk about it much. But really, I miss every girl. To be honest with you, like I can think of conversations of how we left off and how interested. Like, I just like girls. Anyway, why are you still talking bullshit? Corvidal's on this bitch. Is that the end of your story? You know, like, is that the end of your story? That's not how Yoshi is. It's just my fucking impression of. What is that impression? It's just like a stupid person. Anyway, is Yoshi stupid? No. Were your friends in college stupid? No. I had some smart friends in college. Um, my friends were athletes, and so they were like more street smart. Like they had to study and stuff, and I didn't have to study. And I think they'll say that. I studied for the LSATs, and they'd be like, "You studied for the LSATs impressively hard." That is the nicest. I was thinking about this the other. The nicest, like one of the highlights that I ever had was when I was done with the LSATs. Even though I didn't do it till on as I knew I wanted to, they had this really nice setup when I came. When I was done with them, they went to the store and bought me all kinds of stuff that I like, and like all my favorite foods. They knew all my favorite foods, and then we gamed stuff. Really, yeah. But I just remember they knew all my favorite foods, and it made me really feel loved. And they knew I really worked hard because they were having so much fun, and I couldn't have any fun for like at least like a month or two. While going to school at the same time, it was like a big balance. Anyway, but did you ever have to study in the university? Yeah, I had to study, but um, usually I could like find a study partner and just like review stuff. That's usually what we had to do. But a lot of it was papers, and I was good at writing papers. So, but that would be a thing. I think they'd be not that they'd be surprised, but like they'd be like, come to think about it, Mikey never fucking studied for anything. He just kind of, just like I would say, I was pretty naturally smart, naturally gifted. I wouldn't say naturally smart, naturally gifted. Stop. I had a lot of issues I had to overcome, but I was basically like my high school trained me very well for college, and so college was easy. Basically, my high school was a prep school for that college. It just wasn't known to be that. Books we read and things were very similar. Anyway, are you done? Well, those were my college days, kids. I'll never forget that. Yours coming in. You guys are always flirting with her. What are you talking about? Gosh. Really? Yeah. One of the most fun times I ever had with them. Well, I don't know where Yoshi was. We did hang out one time with Justine and our other friends, Adriana and some other people. But and we were in Justine's car in her garage, perhaps just having a good time. And where was Yosh? He couldn't because of soccer or something, or I forget. Um, but that was an amazing time. But it wasn't like at all that we were friends. I mean, I guess that's the best way I can put it. Yeah, but you liked her. I really didn't. I mean, I can say this. I've liked every girl I've ever met, basically, or I've at least thought about, could I date this person? Is this person the one? Did you ever feel that way about Justine? Why? She's Yosh's. What if you had met Justine without Yosh? Uh, I'm like even saying, no, she's not. She wasn't really my type. What do you mean? She's cool. She's nice. She's very smart. Yeah, but I mean, okay. Let me think about this. If I mean, okay, actually, Justin and I were. There were like these. I don't know, 6 girls on Facebook, and we were on Facebook 2005 when that motherfucker started. I said 2004 earlier, 2005 when that motherfucker started, and who were they? Like Allie Green, Megan O'Farrell, Sarah Barrett. There were just some weird Madison, what came later, but no, not Madison in that one. But she would become some weird girls who were always in that people you may know, and they were all very attractive. And Justine was on there, and I thought Justine. Firstly, I thought she was like Mexican, Hispanic, or something. And secondly, I thought she was way bigger. I thought she was like tall. She's a very small, petite woman. But so when it was like, oh, we we knew of each other, but we didn't meet until Yosh. And the first time I met her, I think she was she just had like knee surgery or something. She'd like torn her ACL or MCL or something. Um, and I don't know if that's exactly when I first met her, um, like our senior year was when we really became better friends. But okay, think about it. So, I mean, would you have dated? I couldn't. I don't think people understand. I didn't have any money. Yeah, how you doing, baby? Well, how are you? And it's like, well, what do you mean? You could have dated people. You dated a ton of people. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I can't even like picture it because I just think of Yosh. Um, I mean, I get I could picture it with probably any of a litany of girls that I met, but um, I just I never even this is me considering it more than any I've ever considered it, and I can say we lived pretty close to each other from a dorm perspective, but um, honestly, I don't. You wouldn't have dated her. I just think of Yosh. It'd be like my like Laurel. Would you have dated Laurel? Yeah, I mean she's a really nice person and everything, but she's my friend's girlfriend. What same with Emily? Of those 3 girls, who would you have dated? Oh man, those are 3 very good girls. Actually, I couldn't find any of the three because they were my friends' girlfriends. But who did you come closest to dating? None of them, really. Yes, but they were they were all three of them were really great girls. Who I would say like they were all three of those guys would have been fortunate to marry any of those other three girls. Really? Yeah. Any? So you don't think you wouldn't have married any of those three girls? No, I think they're all marriable, but they were all my friends' girls. Um, so I would literally be like, "Why aren't you guys together?" I would like probably console them or whatever. Do you feel as if they were all three? Because I don't. They're probably all married now. I'm sure they're. I mean, they're not. They're like matrilineal mitochondrially Jewish, but it's like different. I would live a different life, but I have no money. But like if things were, no, I would marry a girl from California. I would not marry one of those three. Really? No. But I married a Jewish girl first. But um, not that they aren't. It's just they would. It'd be. I don't think they'd want to live it. Like those are probably a better thing. Um, mm, I mean, I know all their bad shit, and it's not anything. The worst thing about any of them is that, like, that's the same thing with guys, but they could be emotional, and if and that uh, they're just normal people. I don't want to say they're emotional. That's not correct. They because they'd say the same. I'm emotional. I when people say that people are emotional, a lot of times that can be seen as bad. They're not even emotional. And if I had to marry one, that's a good question. I mean, I think of all my guy friends, so I don't really like answering that question. And it's 15 years later. You're like, you like him? You like? You love it just if I can't even say if I would choose her over the other two. You love her? Shut the fuck up. Um, I I honestly think that I wanted them all to be with who they were. I still want that. I don't think I'll ever not want that. I still long for that life to some extent. Do you? Yeah, I mean, somewhat. You done? Um, yeah. So you're not gonna say of those three? Yeah, I mean, there's something about this. I didn't find any of those girls. Like they were all brought to me as friends. There's something about finding a girl. Like I don't know. Like I could name a lot of girls from Simcha Miriam's or even the university who I would choose before those three. Even though those three are um, very um, they're they're great. They have great personalities. They're smart. They're They're beautiful. All of them are athletic. They're very kind-hearted. Oh, who is the nicest of them? That's a hard question too. Like funniest of them or whatever. I didn't always hang out with them, so I can't really. But like basically, any guy would be lucky to be with any one of them. And I always wanted my friends to end up with them because they were really great. Who would you choose if you had? I don't know. I've asked myself that question. Just like I told you, but yeah, just now on camera, 15 fucking cameras. Um, Here's the thing: it wouldn't have been successful with any of them, so it's hard for me to be like to name any of them because I'd be like, I had no money. These are girls who they weren't all affluent, but um, more than what I could provide. Who would you choose? Gun to your ears, but gun to your head. But gun to your head. Just I'm like, if I don't even think I would say her, but if I did, there'd be like, oh, she told you. But yeah, I that well. I mean, comparison. I guess I kind of did though, because I would hear my friend would be on the phone with her all the time, every single night, and um, I don't know. And Emily, I didn't know for as long, but that isn't true. I knew her for like 2 solid years, and she, I mean, she's a really great person. She had really great friends too. She had Caitlin Murphy, the Cheskis. That other girl, I forget her name right now, but she had a boyfriend. It's a long story, but I was eating pussy on the second floor of the second floor of 222. Wow, that's crazy. 222 steads. I was eating pussy on the second floor of the um the Ocean Jack's fucking room, and there were like 8 people in this room, and I'm just munching away. We'll leave the victim out of this, and then I fell asleep, and I awoke the next morning, and the whole fucking room was like, "You snore so loudly," and they were laughing and laughing and laughing. It's like, oh Jesus Christ! Anyway, that girl, the girl who one of their friends, I don't remember her name. I want to say it was Caitlin as well. I think it might have been. I could be wrong. She had like Emily had like 10 friends with the same fucking name, Caitlin Murphy. This one other time, this one girl named Caitlin Murphy was in my room and was acting like a total bitch, and I was just like, "There's the door." And she's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "We never kick anybody out. There's the fucking door." Also after this girl in law school, but yeah. So girls in law school, I now those were girls I could tell you I thought about with them, but I like found them too, or whatever. But um, now there's the Federal Reserve, who still runs laps in my mind. But like those are girls I think about. I don't think about those other 3. And it's not like, oh, there were only 3 girls. I have a whole fucking school across the street. They'd be like, what about us? And well, Emma was one of them, but um, I'd be like, I know. That's a total different thing. And I could have married dozens of girls from that school. I always told the girls there, or my friends, by the time I'm 35, I'm going to be divorced and on my way to a second one. And I'm glad that didn't happen. But I was very negative about how I thought my married life would be. Why is that? Just probably didn't have a lot of opportunity, not a lot of money. All right, you done? Yours should be like, you gotta pick between there's a lifeboat. Yours should be like, okay, lifeboat time. You have to save one of them. Oh, okay. If I had to save one of them, that's a lifeboat thing. And then yours, but then you gotta marry one of them. I'm like a really, they're all like my friends' girlfriends. I would just whatever one gets the fucking life rafts first. Who would? Who's the most athletic for it? They're all pretty athletic. I don't know. It depends. Um, because if you're thinking it'd be the head cheerleader, it'd be like you'd think wrong because the if it's a life raft situation, Emily's like made in the water. And she was made in the water, but I mean, like she had a boat and it was always on Lake Maxincutt and stuff. And I'm sure Laurel's very athletic too. She was on ponds, but it's ponds. You gotta remember that POMPONS. That's all I know about it. Anyway, um, I think she was on it. Yeah, so I think she did dance. She's like a dance in revolution, you know. So I don't fucking know. You got to choose one. It's a good question. Like, do I have all the money in the world and then I have to choose one? It's a different story than my current life is. If you called them right now, what would they say? It would be awkward as fuck. You're like, why are you talking? I'm married or blah 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 blah. It just they'd have to see all this to understand what my life is. I can't just be like I stream my life. They'd be like, click. Um, they wouldn't be like click. They'd be sweet about it, but then they'd be click. Uh, so who would you choose? Gun to your head. Actually, gun to your head. Gun to your head. Gun to your head. I'd be like, I think they had all met my parents. Really? I know Laurel had, and Justine came over to my house for a holiday, and Emily, I think, met him at a tailgate. So they know this kid comes from fucked up people. Um, I really like. Um, so the worst positive aspects to them. You have to pick one. There's the gun to your head. I mean, where this girl Lindsay Timpani. I know, but she's like a symphony, right? A symphony. Really? Yeah. So wouldn't have been out any of those things? No. And the girls from Symphony, they would find that very interesting that like I found other girls and they never knew about them. And I would have loved for them to meet and introduce them and be like, this is the girl who I really like. What happened there? She went abroad, but I don't want to get into it all. But we talked a little. I mean, I could have married her. In fact, when I after law school, we were even going to meet at this little town, like halfway between us. Anyway, her sister's a thing too. I don't know if she would. Is that the end of your story? Yeah. So you're actually so did the Lindsay girl? You're like of all the girls, like very very convenient. And he'd be like, well, if she liked you so much, which we liked each other, why didn't she stay? And I would say, well, it's a really good opportunity that she had to go there, but also she needed to. I know this is gonna sound weird, but she had a friend of hers who was a nice person, but was not a good influence on her. Not hold around. So I was a very good influence on her, but she had and then she had this other friend. Shout out to that guy. She had a very close guy friend, but he was like, he was a very brave individual, but he wasn't. They were not. He was very homosexual, but nevertheless very brave as well, and brave, I should say, not but. So he was homosexual and very brave. And then like I was around athletes and things like that. It was just like very jocular. Anyway, so we're gonna Lindsay go. How about from Simple Miriams? That's a good question. I would probably say Khana because um, she's an excellent girl. I would say probably Khana over Justine, Laurel, and Emily to some extent. And is that the end of your story? You really, it would have been Khana? I don't know. She was, well, not that we were her boyfriend and girlfriend, but she was very close to them. I mean, what's to say about Khana? Really? Yeah, there were multiple. But, I could even say Khana my freshman year, my first semester, and you still wouldn't necessarily know who it is. You're like, yeah, are you done? Um, there were so many girls from that school. Like, just really great people. Oh, at the university. Yeah, but I like Central Miriams more. The women there. Why? They're more down to earth, and I think they probably would make better mothers, perhaps. You're check. Okay, get back to it. Justine, Emily, or Laura. I mean, those are like all out there. But then I'm like, are there any other girls? Those are like the three. And I would even say Lindsay, but who's it gonna be? Usually, what do you have against Justine? Be like nothing, but except the fact that I see her with Yosh, same with Laura, with my roommate in college, and Jack and them. Did Jack ever date anybody else other than him? Yeah, he had a girlfriend my his freshman year, my sophomore and junior year. Who was that girl? Um, Lauren, I think her name was. Yeah, who was a very nice person too. You know anything? I mean, no, I was just like a high school thing, no more. Um, but so that's, but like she doesn't count in this. I didn't know her, and I mean we met, but I only know bad things about her, and those bad things weren't bad. They were just Jack bitching about a girlfriend. But he did that about everybody, all these guys did. So who would it be? You had to pick between those three. Um, I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I would say all three of them. Any guy would be fortunate. And um, I don't, I don't really. So I mean, in saying it, any guy would be fortunate to have all any of those three. If I had to choose one, all three of them work. I mean, we wouldn't work as a couple probably, but maybe. I shouldn't even say maybe. I would be like, yeah, maybe. And then the second we were together, I'd be like, why aren't you with fucking? If you had to choose, life rap style. Like, who is it? Why did you pick it just? Well, it's one thing to be like, well, I could game with Justine, but I could have gamed with the other two too. That's not anything that you couldn't learn. And so that doesn't matter. I don't really. You don't have a. They're not. You don't have a choice of anyone, or you don't like any of them. You don't even like Justine. I'm like, shut up, Yosh. I like them all, but not like that. Did you ever have sexual thoughts about any of them? No, I never had a dream about them. I never, ever. Yeah, so it's just a good thing. Like, no, you didn't even like her. Like, yo, shut the fuck up. Uh, really? You don't? Of those three, you couldn't choose them. No. I don't know. There's something about finding a girl, the chase. Like, there was no chase with them. They were like my friends, but like the other girls, there have been so many other girls. The chase is what it's about. It's fun. Love the chase. All right. So is that? Are you done? Um, who? You have to choose one. If I have to choose one, I mean all three of them work. I don't really know. It's like I'm trying to think like what it's like. Fuck. It's crawling on me. It would be like it's like you have $300 bills. They have different serial numbers. Which one do you like more? They're all fine. Yes, man, just think of Justine as being money. I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. It wasn't like that at all. Would any of the three have dated you? No. Why? They had boyfriends and stuff, but it was um, it was just not. I was a party guy. I was like a boyfriend guy. Really? Yeah. I mean, Lindsay might disagree with that though, because I really was a little different with her. But are you done? Are you done? Yeah, she'd be like, choose one. I'd be like, yo, he'd be like, what don't you like about it? I don't really have anything against him. Um, were they all exactly the same? No. Who was the funniest? Um, I don't really know how funny Laurel is. I mean, she's funny, but like we never hung out enough to like. I guess a few times to have jokes and things like that. She was a little quieter, which is a benefit too. That means I get to talk more. Um, but not necessarily like when. Uh, So who's the funniest? Um, I don't know. It could be Laurel. I just didn't. We didn't joke around like that. I mean, of other people, of these people, I saw Laurel. I've seen her like maybe 10 times in my life. Emily, I've seen like I don't know every day for like 2 years or something, or like a year and a half. And Justine was like, not every day, but like I don't know, every school day or something. Maybe like I've seen, and I saw her when I after I graduated too. One time she was very nice to invite me over to for a party. Um, and she, I don't know if she married this guy, but her boyfriend after Jack was an excellent guy. Now that's the guy I would have wanted her to with him end up perhaps, just because he treated her better, um, and he really liked her. I think he was from high school or something. He really liked her a lot though, and you could tell, and they were cool. So shout out to them. Uh, but and then how many times did you ever see Justine? Um, did you ever see Justine as a sophomore? No, freshman, sophomore. So like I don't know, probably. When I say like we've hung out, I shouldn't say I just saw them. We hung out, went to dinner, or played a drinking game or something. We danced one time. I've talked about that one. Um, so hey, Yosh, I never danced with fucking Justine or Emily. Um, there's like, dude, you like Laura? No, I didn't. Shut the fuck up. He'd be like, Justine, you hearing this shit? Man, you should have danced with him. Fuck. Shut up. Um, so it'd be like 10 times I hung out with Laura. 200 times I hung out with Emily. 250 times I hung out with Justine, maybe something like that. No. Who did you spend the most amount of time with? Justine. And but like I would call Laurel, I never call. Just because we didn't have that kind of friendship. But Emily, I did, and Justine when I was in law school. Honestly, Justine, I mean Emily had out of the three of them, I think Emily probably had the best heart. Justine was probably the funniest. What about Laurel? Laurel's best at Dance Dance Revolution, I guess. I don't know. I don't know that much about. So you don't think fucking Justine has a good heart? No, she does. I just know, and just was a really sweet individual. But again, they so was Laurel. They were all really nice people. Yes, but you gotta choose one. I told you that's Lindsay girl. And those girls never met Lindsay. Like it was a weird thing. Like Jack and I think Jack might have met Lindsay once. Something like maybe Yoshi once. Um, are there any other girls? Yeah, there were a lot of girls. Anyway, are you done? That would be my question to you. Are you done? What about? I just miss their friendships. Honestly, I miss Justine and Emily hanging out in our dorm, and I even miss what I knew of Laurel. Uh, she was actually she might have been the most thoughtful of them. So when I say Emily had the best heart, I might not be correct. I think I think Laurel might have been different. She was 200 miles away or something. Uh, but I just missed them. I missed our friendships. If you had to, I'm asking that question. If you had to marry one of them, who would it be? Again, all three you'd be privileged to marry out any of them. Did you ever meet a girl in college who you think wouldn't have been a good person to marry? Um, I think you could make it work with all of them. They all come from very good families. They're all very smart. They're like all excellent catchers. So I think you can make it work with just about all of them. And I'm talking like hundreds of girls. But if you had to pick from those three, hey dog, Michael, Roscoe, I'm good. Thanks. Great to hear. Isn't aren't aren't you? It is like what time is it? 5 a.m. man. So you should be like, who would you choose? You gotta choose one of them. Again, it could have been any of them. What would you do if you had a gun to your head? I would ask the executioner to just choose one. I don't really care. They're all, you can win with all three of them. If you had to choose one, who would you choose? Of those three, I don't. I would want them to be, but I'm not even just saying that. Like, oh, I don't want my friends to be mad at me. Fuck, I could give a shit about that. That's what I wanted. But if you had to choose, like, yo, you just want me to say Justine, he'd be like, dude, I told you you flirted with her. Like, shut the fuck up, yo. Um, no, I mean she was like my friend. I really get girl space friended her. She was like a confidant. So I never looked at her like that, and not ever once did I ever see like consider dating her or anything like that. Really, I would say she's not my type, but we were really good friends. So she was, but not. She was Yoshi's. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. You have to choose one. It's kind of unfair because I didn't know Laurel that well. Again, it was like 10 times hanging out with Laurel, 200 times hanging out with Emily, 250 times hanging out with Justine. And did they know all of your faults? Basically, they knew about my cum shirt. They'd seen me draw fucking stone. I had dinner with all of them basically to some extent. But yeah, so they know I eat like a horse. If you had to choose one, I would be like Yosh. All three of them were really great, and I know Yosh would push me and be like, "Dude," he would push me to do everything to say Justine, but then if I didn't say Justine, he'd be pissed, and then he'd want me to say Justine. and there's about 2/3 chance I wouldn't say her. Who would you choose? I wanted them to be with their friend, like with my guy friends. Have you ever liked somebody else, a guy friend, girlfriend? There's something about like once you're my girlfriend. There's something about like once you're my guy friend and you're dating a girl, I don't I like she's off limits. I don't want anybody to like I want you guys to be together. So I don't think I've ever dated anybody after one of my friends got. I'm almost certain I have. It's against bro code, and I wouldn't break that. All right, bro code. Pretty sneaky, sis. Are you done? Is there any? I mean, like I'm going for fucking celebrity chicks now, so fuck those three. Um, but if you had to choose, there are benefits of all. I mean, I don't want to say there are benefits of all three. They're almost people and beautiful and cool and kind and like it would be very easy for me to dismiss any of them if they were like bitches. I could be like, oh yeah, but Laurel could be such a bitch. No, or Emily could be such, or Justine could be such. No, I mean really, it would. I'd be like, all right, well, like to all three of them, what are your stances on things? Because basically we get along really well. Um, I wouldn't even give a shit though what their stances on things are. 'Cause people change. So there's just you have to choose one. Like I want them. I the Lindsay girl. I say Lindsay girl. Her name's Lindsay. Why don't you call? Why do you say Lindsay girl? I would say it to Yosh because he never really met. He met her once or something, but and but well, my roommate in college did not want me dating. Not that he had a say over it or anything, but he didn't want me. He didn't want me dating that girl, and just I don't want to get into it, but he was kind of jealous too because I was spending time with her, and we were friends, and you want to spend time with your friends. You don't want to locked up in a relationship. You had to choose one though. I mean, I thought about girls from simple marriages far more about marriage than I thought about those three. I mean, I've never had feelings for them. Really? Yeah. I liked making them laugh, all three of those girls. But I like making everybody laugh, so it's not like they were any different than anybody else. What girl could you make laugh harder than any? That's a good question. Um, I don't know. Probably I don't know. Who like of one girl you made laugh the most in your life? I don't know. Probably someone from grade school because I spent too much time with them. So that's an unfair assessment. Um, but I love watching girls laugh so much. They tell me hanging out with you is like doing. I don't have to do ab work. Girls would tell me I don't have to do abs after a night of hanging out with you because it's so funny. The next day, my abdominal muscles hurt more than they do when I'm at the gym. And I would feel that way sometimes too, where I would laugh so hardly, like we just had a good time together. Really, yeah. Oh, are you done? Is that the end of your story? Um, dude, Yoshua, you gotta pick one. I'd be like, I want my friends to be with them, so. But if I had to pick one, all three of them work. I don't know if our relationships would work, but all three of them are catches, basically. She's like, dude, fuck you, man. Make a decision. Like, Lindsay person. Lindsay Timponi. It's Timponi, but we changed it to Timpani because it rhymes with symphony, and that's what this girl is. She'd be cool with that. And we fuck get some fucking motel someday, my boy, between from where she is and from where I was. And we like our spot. Really. No, I want to have fucking marriage with that girl. Really? I know she's found another guy and she's married, but she's beautiful. And, and this I just I miss I miss what could have been. Honestly, her going to England changed perhaps world history. Are you done? Oh fuck! I got a diamond. God damn it! So which one are you gonna choose?
Back on March 16th, I reported on the sightings of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. There was a picture of two UFOs taken at night as the witness looked for Jupiter and Venus, which were close together at the time. He said that the objects were closely shaped, and he said they were
We're gonna on
the Spanish college. Vicente Juan Vallejo Romo, who pointed out that the objects in the photograph were lens flares. He provided a link to a website hosted by Juan Carlos Victorio Uganda, who has studied the photographs and provided that solution. You'll find a link to that analysis on my blog. While the solution is interesting and probably correct, I will note that the witness said that he saw two discs in the sky. That might rule out the lens flare. The sudden disappearance is interesting, but as you witnessed it, like getting that use the light movement of the camera, we change the angle and it flares that would account for the UFO's disappearance. Since this wasn't a pressing matter, I reached out to Marcio Antonio of Wuhan. He's their resident photo analysis. I didn't mention the other analysis, and to create conclusion with the lens flare. I thought that since I know Mark, he might be able to tell me something more about this picture. On Monday of this week, I heard from him, and he wrote, and I quote, "It appears to have been taken through a window as opposed to on a balcony. The lights in the sky are systemically opposite across the center of the frame to the lights that are over reposed left of the center of the shot," end quote. But here's the bottom line. Mark quote, "The light in the sky appears to me to be artifacts of the longer exposure."
Today is 36 days. 5 weeks, 1 day.
In other words, it was the same answer that my friend colleague just proposed. I felt a little bad for not knowing much about the other analysis, but what this did was verify that information. The third solution is lens flares, and we can write this one off. Of course, this is what UFO research is all about. But there are other intriguing sightings. On January 6th of this year, the witness in Savannah, Georgia, reported a prostitute craft with a rounded top moving slowly. The UFO was huge and was estimated to fly between 5,000 and 8,000 feet. According to the witness, the lower half was silver, but the dome was described as having an orange golden glow, which might have been the UFO reflecting the sun. It makes no noise, and it didn't have any front or rear to it. Finally, from Grand Junction, Colorado, on May 1st of this year, a man was in his garage when a white flash of light caught his attention. He looked out and spotted what is called a classic telescope, meaning there was circular with a dome on top. It was gleaming as if it was made from highly polished silver. It moved slowly and made no noise. The man simply didn't think about a cell phone camera at first. He turned and grabbed it. When he turned back, the UFO was gone. He watched it for about a minute. And that's what we have for tonight, George. All right, my friend, we'll talk to you next week. Kevin Randall is with UFO One. If you get a moment, go up to the coasttocoastfan.com website. Look at the story in the news of the former Russian space station head, who says Americans never went
Yeah, you should be like, So, who do you think? Who would you choose? Like, Josh, I told you, I think that you deserve to be with them. And he'd be like, dude, this girl is watching you, dog. Be like, I know, it's crazy. Why? I don't give a shit. If, like, if you had to choose one, um, here's the weird thing. I spend the most of the time with Justine, but I didn't like her like that, so I'm already like, I'm sick of her because I wanted to be with Yosh. It's a weird thing. It's a very weird thing. Like, if you're with one of my friends, you're dead to me, basically. Like, you could be super hot, but it's still like you're my friend's girlfriend or whatever. It's bro code, dude. Even 15 years later, Yosh with a gun to my head. It's bro code. Bro code. Did you ever date anybody after your friends? No. Did you ever think about it? No. It was just. Um. Oh, I guess the closest I ever did. Okay, my friend Dan and Amanda dated. Amanda and I hooked up all the time, but allegedly. But that was that was different. They had been broken up for years, and to be honest with you, I mean Dan and I were pretty close, but it wasn't like. But Amanda and I were closer than Dan and I were. I knew Amanda longer than Dan did, so it was like longer than Dan did. So it was like he was the new kid on the block. I guess that's the closest situation. When I say hooked up, whatever, we made up. Really, she plays great defense, kids. Really? Oh, I mean, we 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 got the ball where we needed it to go. She's great. Who are the best at defense? Allison Baronet, uh, Doctor Man, anybody else? There are some girls up there. Um, who played really good defense. Yeah, those two stick to my mind in my mind now. Anybody else? Those were the only two. No, there were I think a couple others, but maybe not. Are you done? Name. I mean, so Yoshi, but okay, you got to choose one though. I feel like Yoshi, we talked about this like 1,000 times. I would choose you to be with Justine. Jackie would probably Yoshi should be like, okay, but if that's not an option, I'd be like, and you had to pick one of them. Um, Send her a screenshot. Oh, okay, dog. How about David? David? Are you done? Um, was that? Are you done? Shout out to David Davidson, his wife. Uh, are you done? If you had to choose between those three, again, you can win with all three of them. I don't think it's interesting. I think in the future, well, like if I had just normal people wealth, I could have made it work with all three of them. But those girls had high standards. They're not gonna be some schmuck. Um, and it's not fair Well, it's not fair to Laurel because I just didn't know her the most of this. No, you danced with her. Shut up. Is that they all three have benefits. I mean, and here's the thing: none of them. There's not a word the opposite of benefit. I think it should just be called benefits. They don't have any benefits, or they do, but I mean, they're completely normal things. They're not. What's a benefit? It's like the opposite. It's needs like challenges or something. No, I mean no. Could you made it by normal person wealth and perhaps on another world, but not in college. And what about who would you choose? You're talking to Yosh, and Yosh would be like, "Who's that?" Yeah, so I have to say she's a person too. I don't know. So you should pick your pick one zero for those three. Are you done?
Has purchased his costume. What are you going to be this year, sir? Let's see it. Sort of a follow-on to the Elon Musk, the book begins with SpaceX in its first flight in 2008 at the Falcon 1 rocket.
What is this? What is this? Oh fuck yeah, that's hilarious. This guy. You're right in the pussy.
Let's see it.
This guy's great.
This gentleman here has purchased his costume.
Great.
What are you going to be this year, sir? Let's see it.
Dude, show me the other two. Right in the pussy. Oh, that's funny.
So, the newest Tesla feature is that the seat will take a high-resolution scan of your balls. You can then use your ball print to biometrically unlock and start the car. We call the tech particular testicular detection.
Mm-hmm. Who's Bobby? Who cares about Barnard Health?
Maybe that could be cool. It could be like a real soap opera. It could be other guys were like doing kind of like their way of making friends and buying their car or surviving, and I didn't want to change it. So I just kind of started another business running, you know. I mean, don't you tell your brother this? I always thought I wanted a Chinese husband. Do you really? Yeah, because it's generally easy to get it. They just say they're nice. Sure. I always thought I wanted a Chinese.
What the hell was that? Whoa. What the hell is going on here? What's this other bitch? This bitch is hot as fuck. Over here. No one ever talks about how hot this bitch is. Let's go. God, fuck. Really? Why don't they do out the rest of the community good show? If you're watching it, I'm trying. So look, too much Jimmy Chase. Really? Yeah, I love Jimmy Chase. I don't know. Why the fuck isn't she a bigger actor? This bitch is hot. God, she's such a please don't tell me she's married. Oh, hell yeah. Good for you. All right, kids. Daddy's gotta go to work. These are great New York boobs, kids. That means it's not working, you dumb fuck. Actors should also do porn. I don't understand why they don't. I'll do it with them. You should know, girl, in the end. Be gone. No. Are you done? What? Could have been a deep fake, kids. Hi, this morning I'm like Sean S. and Rudy. Da da da. Let me get a couple of World Series. Roll fucking around, Sean. The fact of being out, but it goes. Neither here, nor there, nor anywhere. Bill fucking Murray, the center of the universe. And you know the fucking red chef. The Mashiach can stand in the multiverse. Send back, no, send back. Mashiach can stand in the multiverse. Perhaps without a quick lineage and righteous. Let's go. Oh my god, she's so hot. Pearls are tank. Alright, are you done though? We're trying to be like, are you done?
Giving this image $20. Spin the wheels, win $1,000.
It keeps spinning, doesn't it? It's got a little trigger or something. It's very funny. I think it's hilarious. That's funny. Yoshi. Yoshi, like, choose one. I feel like I already told you, Yoshi. Yoshi, like, choose one.
It's ready for it. Come on. Oh my god. Do it. Tell me what to do. It's ready for it. Come on. Oh my god. Do it. Tell me what to do.
There's the, what the fuck is this? Yoshi. Larry, been our cup. That's all there's on two levels. Yoshi. Oh, hell yeah. That one was good. Jesus God. What is the security guy doing? What is the security guy doing describing it? The size of something?
Reality is it's only time. Why would you apply for unemployment benefits when you had a job making $120,000 a year? This is inaccurate information, and I will get to clear my name on this. During the pandemic, it wasn't very clear. I don't understand where the government's getting their information, but I will present my facts. Here's the page. This is political saying he doesn't understand. America got this evidence. The place that the government got all this information is from him. Paperwork he filed himself. This is a paperwork case. And that's the problem for the cops. The reality.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I've seen this thing 1,000 times.
And welcome back to Coast to Coast. George Story along with Beth and Dan. So we are talking about the latest work on the 7th month on sale. His website is linked up at coasttocoaststory.com. Actually, you're talking about that company. Actually, you're talking about that company that got the satellite capability. So you're saying we don't have it?
You know, she'd be like, you gotta choose one. I'd be like, dog. Were they the 3 best girls you knew in college? Fuck no. 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 Like, girls across the street about it. Really? Yeah. How about Lindsay? It all depended on what your flavor was. Really? Yeah. Why? Lindsay was quieter than y'all. Look at that.
They would have a number of supply satellites, but they have to look at specific places and be pointed.
It was really good. It's for one.
Planet is surrounded in the earth on Red Sea with about 250 of their satellites and interact. It's almost like the line scanner. You know, they're arranged in patterns where they see everything on the earth all the time. They take about 15 pictures of every spot on the earth mass every day. So they miss nothing. And it's going to sound sort of espionage, but it really uses more for watching the movement of cars and boats.
That was a good one. But Yosh, I don't have to do anything. Yosh should be like, dude, just pick Justine. I'd be like, I just liked gaming with her. Did you? She was a cool gamer girl, man. Was she? She didn't like, I mean, she just did it because your boyfriend did it. Yo, Sean. Did somebody follow you? Yo, she's like, dude. Was it Ayoshima? Ayoshima? Ayoshima.
I absolutely think that's true for children.
It was hookah.
It's not just that they forget, it's that they're
Hookah.
trained to forget that
Suspicious
our
content.
society
Message okay. This is spam.
genders a certain
This is spam.
type of
And then is that how you get fucking banned? Elizabeth Taylor, Stevie Wonder. How about this guy? This is real bad. Yosh. This is real bad. Yosh. Yosh be like, you gotta pick one. I'd be like, honestly, if I had to choose a bunch of like those of the girls who I might have married in college, those girls, all three of them, would not be in the top 20. If that gives you an idea of like, not just because I did 20, would they be in the top 30? There should be, what number? What number? Dude. Oh, yo. You're 21? Shut up, yo.
There's second that happens a lot, especially like a fancy iPhone too. And half the time I can't hear people talking. But you guys were talking about Taoism and stuff, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Alan Watts, but like back in the day, he was like a really great philosopher, and he pretty much made Western religion and like culture sort of like mainstream here in America. And when you guys are talking about the yeah, that's what it's
he bridged the gap. He's the best. You ever heard the band Starfucker uses his quotes very well. Holy shit. I didn't know that. Oh, that makes so much sense. Keep going.
You gonna queef? Nice queef, dog. Was that a bird thanks for my first one on that? A quick time yesterday. It's whatever you want to be, baby. Why not go?
People are people or what is it? He's like, what do people do?
It's just like a rabbit.
Like a tree fruits the earth eats. Exactly. There's a rock floating out there underneath us. It began big people. He's the best. Whenever I'm like, I don't know, in need of some philosophical spiritual guidance, I always either turn to. I usually just turn down.
You're even thinking about just. Dude,
I usually just turn down.
you're even thinking about just. Like, no, I'm thinking about Mary King. You're like, liar. I'm like, no, it really was.
It is it.
Like, damn it, maybe just crazy. If they know she's cool, but like, you know, there's a bunch of chicks out there, dog. She's like, no, I married one. Like, yeah, that girl's super cool, dude. That's toast.
It doesn't make absolutely no sense till he gets to the end. And you're like, oh my god, everything you just said makes sense now. Like, how the fuck does he do that?
Man. Alright, you're like, oh, if you had to choose between Toj and Justine, who would you pick? I'd be like, well, I've never met Toj, but she puts up with you, so probably Toj. Why? Because anybody who can put up with you is a fucking angel.
I can definitely point to at least a dozen Western thinkers who didn't make any sense until the very end when they were drunk. Yeah, in the case of Alan Watts, I think it's more so that we like to speak in the form of Sedashina's point, he would speak in Zen koans, and that's
Yeah, but you gotta pick between the three. And I'd be like,
it's meant to be this that's
honestly,
the essence of not just Zen Buddhism
I'd pick the Lindsay.
or whatever, but a lot of Eastern thought in general is just metaphors, and so you kind of need to listen to his whole big metaphor or koan or riddle or whatever.
You're like, but she's not in it. He can't count her. All right, well,
Similar to the notion that
he'd be like, just those three.
philosophical truth.
It's not really fair. I want you all. You can't say that you want us all to be in a relationship. You have to choose.
Impact on what you deem as valid or true based on what you brought up in which all of us brought up in your fundamental bullshit, right?
I'm talking about you girls brought up fundamental purity.
They were all pretty cool. Just like, I know. Which one would you choose? Like, honestly, I just want all of you to have free. Like, dude, you can't choose that. You're like, all right, Lindsay. Like, dude, you gotta say one of those names.
Goodness, I promise you that.
What were you saying about I forgot what I was saying about what you said, but then he threw me out when he said he was Mormon, and I was like, whoa. I've talked to a lot of Mormons before.
I wanted to just mention again that like Alan Watts was an alcoholic, and I always find that very useful. It's like people look. I love the fuck out of Alan Watts. His struggles don't make me love him any less. It's just support.
If you've ever seen the second Guardians of the Galaxy, that movie actually encapsulates Mormon philosophy in a really concise way. I don't think the creators of it intended that, but I would argue that Mormonism is the epitome of Western thought.
That's so funny. Yeah, because he's just spreading his seed to as many planets as possible.
Yep. It's the ultimate, like, narcissistic, but embedded in benevolent, virtuous values to propagate the universe with his seed. That is Mormonism. Like, Mormonism really is the epitome of Western thought. And honestly, if you were to like epitomize Western thought, it might be equally ridiculous. It would be shielded from like Westerners would like view the epitome of Eastern thought in like high praise, but it's equally ridiculous. The point is humans have really no idea what's going on even on a
I don't think that's true. I think there are people who are very deeply spiritual, do have a wholesome spiritual wisdom. It's not much of a sense, I guess, wisdom, or at least at West, there are people who are deeply spiritual.
there are, but they're still humans, right? And so, like, if you believe that there's a higher intelligence and consciousness than us, then all of it's fully to disagree.
No, you disagree. I wouldn't think that there's something horrible was to notice that it's faulty. I think that substantiates to me anyway that if anything, that it's quite just fine, and it's that we are part of something bigger, and we're part of that, and it validates that. I think that's just my view.
I think the whole East versus West thing kind of falls apart after a certain stage, honestly. Like, I get what you're saying, and well, like, certainly in terms of, like, manifest destiny, those sorts of Western concepts, like, yeah, I can see Mormonism embodying that, but honestly, the more that I study all world religions, I feel like, you know, Jesus might have very well been influenced by his travels, you know, during the 30 years that we don't know much about. I mean, I'm not a freaking expert about this stuff, but when you look into Jewish Kabbalah, I guess you would consider that to be a Western philosophy or religion, you know, that has a lot of crossover with Hinduism and chakras, this and that, and so, yeah, the line very much does blur, but yeah, at the extremes, in the worst manifestations of Western society, I can see what you mean, and it's just a little bit blurry.
Well said. The last thing I'll note before Sheena goes is just that, like, Western philosophy and ideology is like the predominant philosophy at this point. Like, at this point in history, like, the West has won up until either now or 10, 15 years ago. Whether it lasts, I have no confidence in saying either way, but like, I don't know, there is like a sense of like punching down or up. Like, the West has been, what's the word? I don't know if we can really, if we let the pendulum swing back to the East, I don't know that the outcomes are going to be any better.
No, again, it's like you can have the worst of both worlds, you know, like we can see the worst of Eastern culture manifested in obvious ways within world powers. Like, I don't have to name, you know what I'm talking about. Same thing goes for the West, but I want us guys to shut up, and I have to go in a few minutes too, but yeah, I want to hear what you want to say.
I was going to say, before Ben disagreed with Kimmy like a while back, like a few minutes ago. Is it Kimmy or Kimball? Because all of us said Kimball. But
Kimball, it's gonna forever be Kimball.
oh, okay. I thought basically Kim, what you were saying was you only know what you know. Like, I thought that's the point you were making.
Pretty much. But that applies to everyone.
Exactly, yeah. But with the religion thing and everything, you just know it. Like, I forgot like what you were talking about exactly, but your point was just something I don't remember.
I know it's right, Kim. I actually disagree. I don't think that our forefathers were cowboys. So when you say, we should swing back towards the east and why the western winds fail, no, I don't think it has. It's just not being done right. I think it's a case of our Western values, our Christian values, they've served us well. Our forefathers have died for that, have like for that, have like all for that, to give us that, and we shouldn't be so quick just to write that off. What we have is pretty substantial. And there's blood on flags. Our fucking forefathers have fucking died in the trenches so that we can have this. Like, that's important. We can't just flippantly say, maybe we should go more east and like this is pretty shit. This just is done fucking wrong. We've got corrupt motherfuckers at the top. Divide us all. Doesn't matter you're left or right, Australia, America. It seems more apparent, with documents with Biden bullshit at the moment, with the Trump arrest, the whole lot. It's just there's shit both ways, and at the end of the day, us the people, we suffer. We're just the people, and I think it's something worth fighting for. It's worth keeping. It's what our forefathers fought for, our freedom, for us to be able to voice what we feel, what we think. Those things are important, and not to be, dictated to. We don't live in a dictatorship. So I don't think that we should turn east. I think we should just do it better. What we've got, improve it. I'm not saying you can't change all the time. I get that, but we should have more transparency, more accountability. The people have more voice. I think that's probably the way forward.
I think most of us would agree that we could do with more humanitarian values. It's just when these values start to become dehumanizing, it's obviously where the problem is. That can happen within Christianity, Western philosophy, Eastern philosophy, you name it. So that's it.
Contrary to the way societal trends ebb and flow, let's eradicate Western philosophy and theology first. Even after we do that, Eastern philosophy will be barely behind Western. We're all human thought and philosophy is not even close to what it needs to be for us to survive. So I don't know, shit tribalism. Just gonna be crazy.
The law of one is going to become one world religion, and that's going to be that. I'm completely just kidding. I don't know what the solution is, but I just like, actually, I am going to go after this one. Like, back to my point about the axial age, like, do any of y'all feel like we're entering a time that, like, perhaps within the next 28 years, if we don't, just explode as a civilization, that we might have, that we might be going through a time that resembles, like, 2,000 years ago? Does anyone else get that vibe? Or am I just
Yep, totally. I was just talking about this earlier tonight. What were you saying? What when you were saying like we're all just gonna have like one religion or like the law of the one? I was talking about the internet earlier and how like it's just gonna be one big blob now because like every search engine fucking sucks. It's all paid ads. Like it all fucking sucks because there's a small group of people who basically have control of our search and all that. It's like everything's becoming a blob, and so we're gonna go back in history just to be ourselves again. That's what I think. I don't know, it might not happen. Maybe I'll be dead by then, but I think we're just gonna, history repeats itself, and then we'll forget about the blob for a while, and then we're gonna go back to it.
Yeah, it's like the Tower of fucking Atlantis, whatever's gonna happen. We're gonna maybe try to unite and then get struck down. I don't know. But for the record, I was referring to the Law of One, which is a channel material from the 70s and 80s. But like globalism and or what you're referring to, it certainly does seem to be the direction that we're going. And people like Alex Jones, like the globalists are trying to make the frogs gay or whatever. Like, I don't necessarily think that globalism is an inherently bad thing. Maybe people will disagree and think that tribalism is the way, and I can see both sides, but certainly I think in a sense where I would
Find a difference between globalists and globalism, because there's a very big difference.
I don't even know the difference amongst these two.
Paul, are you referring to like there will likely be like you're feeling into some event that will happen soon, not event but like some sort of decline where we all will be forced, the weak will die, and we all will be forced to essentially into more back to tribalism.
Possibly, yeah, because I was riffing off of what like Kimball was saying in terms of tribalism. I could see like a sort of back and forth between like depending where things go with AI and world geopolitics, that we might enter into a more globalistic kind of society, but then maybe that doesn't work and things fall apart. And I was just thinking like the Tower of Babel story. I'm not religious or anything, but I find that to be a powerful metaphor. So honestly, I'm not sure. I'm totally just
The Terror Bible.
You tried, and that would be awesome to revert that from. Well, I mean, the third world people are already doing the tribe thing. Oh, I'm doing that. I'm doing it for real. Oh, I'm jealous. Well, I hope I'm a cool ass old lady by the time it's a normal thing around here. Like, I'm just gonna be some old lady not wearing a bra, long hair, and like saying crazy. Man, that'd be awesome. Okay, I smoke some weed. I promise I'm not a troll.
one of those tribes, no bra, no shirt at all. That's free the nipples. That's what I want.
I also promise that I'm a troll, although I am also high and drunk.
Man, I'm trying to get drunk, but I just realized I only have one beer left. And like where I live, I can't buy any more. It's 7. Like, I had this guy I was dating.
I was trying to make it about
last
me.
night, and then he got all pissed off that I fell asleep and left. And I woke up to this note laying on my bed. Sorry I left. You fell asleep. I got bored. like, dude, we fuck all the time. Like, one night I fall asleep and you leave me. I'm sorry. Never mind.
Wait, so you have been seeing my dreams? Is that you?
I don't know. I haven't seen your dreams.
Please say no.
Well, this actually happened to me tonight, and I just wanted to fucking say it. I wanted to vent it. What the fuck?
Well, yeah, who leaves a note like that? Is that a thing?
No, it's not a thing. It's rude and selfish. And then I'm the selfish one because I fell asleep one night. Like, how?
It's the globalists. You're making us leave notes. They're tearing our families apart.
You can vent all you want in here, but when it comes knocking again and you open the door, then that's on you, you know what I mean?
True.
I might sound like an asshole, but I thought leaving a note was a nice thing. Because you didn't get light, that's what it was. Real quick. Globalism is like the economic activity of like different nations, just trading laissez-faire to work together, like which economy has advantages to do what's the word? Manufacturing versus which economy has the advantage of doing innovation. That's a globalist. Globalist is a like political philosophy, and most of the people do it.
So what is that? What is that philosophy?
Populism, like Donald Trump or like Hitler, literally, like any like philosophy that advances like the economic propaganda. What?
Oh, come on. No, I just want to hear your point. Can we say it again?
Basically, populism wants to avoid.
So, you want to avoid and you don't want to avoid. Sorry, time is now. It's going on. You go.
Oh, no, actually, I'm about to leave. I would avoid flatulences. I guess if we live in a flat earth, it's got to be flatulences. The flatulence. So sorry. I apologize to my friends and family for that horrible.
Flat people are entertaining. Every time I turn around, someone's trying to tell me to be Crips or Bloods.
I get what you're saying, with the Nazi stuff and shit. With it all over the internet and like Hitler being, kids, they can just press a button and see this stuff. They're totally being influenced, and a lot of like people from older generations are like, kids are so dumb. Have some fucking empathy for what kids are going through these days. Like, they all think they should idolize Hitler because some fucking tweet or TikTok said it was cool.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. No, that's the first I've ever.
I see it all the time. It's sad, really. That's what Kimmy was talking about. I see it all the time. It's sad, really. That's what Kimmy was talking about, like, a while back.
Hitler rose to power through like victimhood ideology, and both the left and the
Exactly.
right are power through.
But what they're doing now are kids, they're making like, it's cool to follow Hitler. It's cool to be like Hitler, And like, kids are walking awesome. I ain't trying it. Like, they're doing the walk and everything. Like, if if you have kids or no kids that have any access to the internet, just watch and be observant because it's fucking insane what they have to put up with these days.
And I wouldn't be surprised. There's definitely like a very real neo-Nazi movement these days. It's not that outrageous to me.
8 billion people. There's a group of people that believe every stupid thing you can think of. There's a group. I wouldn't call it a movement.
I mean, people are policing each other all the time. It really kind of feels like it.
That's how racism works, man. Racism and tribalism works that way. That's how it works. If they pick a group of people, say that group of people is the bad people, they're the rules, that's the ones. They're the calls, they're the secret conspirators, they're this, they're that. And then you're one of the Nazis, man. The worst parts of the Nazis is that.
Well said, Sam. And on that note, I'm going to go out, but I agree, man. And thanks for the cool space, guys. Have a good night or a good day.
Have a good one.
Have a good night or a good day.
Have a good one.
Paul, that's massive.
Thanks, Paul.
Hey, can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Does anybody know who Prism is talking? Because my thing's not on internet. I can't hear him. His box is very important. It's fucked up. Because this has been happening to me all day. I've been a total degenerate. good because I don't have to go back to work till July. And I keep coming on these spaces, and half the time I can't hear people, or my shit's rugged, and I'm like, what's the point in buying 6 kids an iPhone?
What's that one episode doing that?
Like right now, I hear the echo of myself. Do you hear it? That's easily entertained, I guess.
We're going to start taking calls with Ashley Dance. Let's start with Eric in San Diego. First time caller. Welcome, Eric. I'll open the door. Thank you. And Ashley is
Actually, Prism said something earlier on, and she said it before about tribalism, going back to Earth, sort of us going back to sort of like, being pushed back a little bit sort of thing to a grassroots, almost like an event type that coming up. I'm sort of more the other way inclined, and I've had this discussion before, and I find it fascinating her perspective. I'm kind of more of the belief that we're born in a digital age, us, and technology itself is a massive indication that it's almost like there's a reason that we've incarnated these bodies in this time, this day and age. I don't believe in the reincarnation process in that regard, that we exist in this mortal state. I believe this is our first time. That's just my belief. There's a reason why we're in the digital age. It's almost like it's almost like we've been prepared for a technological jump in that direction, as opposed to just sapping electricity, like whatever it is. Like, I think electricity is a very broad word as well. There's so much more to that. There's so many, more forms of it before, like that oneness. Like a tree, a tree has branches. Each branch is a different belief, different part of humanity, but essentially it comes down to the trunk. So anyway, just sort of throw that in there because we fall with the prison. Like, got to speak also. So I kind of think that we can be prepared for a futuristic a technological jump. And that's why we're kind of existing in this time, and that's what we're being prepped for, versus we could take a step back. I mean, history tells us we've been wanting to take steps back. This time.
Really makes sense.
That's amazing. There's something in me that wants that too, and I feel that is happening. But there's also something in me that feels like the exact opposite also wants to exist. Like, there's a part of humanity that wants to rewild itself, that wants to remember what it's like to be in nature, but at the same time, desires to utilize technology in a way that is serving us and not taking away from nature, from that, like, courage, that core, that natural kind of humanness, I think. So I like to envision a future for myself where I'm living in nature and within technology in this very harmonious way where technology is behind the scenes, nature's still there, but it's all working, just harmoniously.
I agree. I think technology is a reflection of spirituality. So, spiritual growth is consciousness for the species. Technology reflects that, I think. So I think they do go hand in hand. Pretty nice. They complement each other.
For some reason, I don't know why, I'm more interested in all of this sort of like economic activities than I am in the colonizing stuff. It's just never supposed to be, and this is the same way. Let's go to Catherine in British Columbia, Canada. Hi, Catherine, go ahead.
Hi, Logan. since I have recording here, like live from my phone. I don't have a studio, but yeah, why do you ask?
I'm trying to get a high quality sample of somebody's voice so I can clone it.
Asking me to clone. Do you want to clone my voice?
Yeah, I was wondering if there's like a recording you got somewhere that I can use that's high quality or something.
It's a beautiful voice to record. Personally, you have a very nice voice. You're sweet, thank you. How high quality do you need it to be, Logan?
I don't know as high quality as it could be, I guess. I don't know. I guess that in the background.
Okay, yeah, I have some stuff. I have some stuff recorded that I could send your way. If it's not good enough, I could just read something off. But yeah, do you need it like right now? I'm just like cooking, but I can send it right on.
I mean,
That's incredible how willing and open Prisma is to that. That's right on. It's so cool. Yeah, thanks. I don't know. I think there's something to frequencies. I don't know what Logan's going to do with it. Maybe I'll ask him at some point. Actually, speaking of Logan, I have a friend who is a hermit, and he refers to himself as like a reincarnation of Hermes. Anyway, he doesn't talk to many people, but he's very well connected, and he gets a lot of like really juicy information about like kind of what I guess the globalists are planning. But anyway, he and I have conversations a couple times a week, like a couple hours, and it's like 4 hours long. And I've been encouraging, I was like, hey, like, we should record some of this. And he was like, okay, let's record stuff, but I want you to, like, mix my voice, and so it's not, like, just a basket. But, yeah, I was wondering if you had experience doing that, or any tips around that. Yeah, I was just gonna use Ableton and, like, fuck with the sound bite or whatever. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why I'm asking you. Or I can ask, could we put it through a, like you did that, the Transformer guy. Like, would it be possible? Because I think it'd be kind of funny if we had it, like, this, like, really dire message or something, like, potent truths coming from some, like, funny movie characters or something. I don't know. I was Optimus Prime. Logan, are you going to share the easy method? Okay, thank you. What's the easy method, Logan?
Oh, I think you meant it. It's
No thanks are necessary, Praise Mother. No thanks are necessary, Praise Mother. The easy method, Sheena, is to bend over and kiss my ass.
so I didn't teach you. It's just that you were talking right as I was like,
So then we record this guy. What should I like? Should I call him on Zoom to get better audio?
I don't know, like versus what?
Well, usually we just call using like FaceTime, it's like regular, it's like a regular call. But then I can't copy the audio to that, so I would have to like record his voice coming out of my phone into a microphone, which wouldn't be good, I think.
You just talk, Jenny knows he's gonna be recorded, right?
Yeah, he does.
So, just talk on a platform where like it'll just record you guys talking, for you, and then you can just download it.
Oh, okay, like what?
Like Spaces, for example.
Yeah, but the thing is, he wants to mask his voice.
Alright. I don't know, like about this bunch of I am. You get a problem with that? Anyway. Yeah, so like, I don't know, I can't think of any off the top of my head. Hold on, I'll like look one up. Maybe I'll find it.
I think I might be too high to be in this space. I don't. People think I'm a troll.
That's okay. Great Master UV is the one we think is a troll.
Welcome to most fish. I'm a troll. Platform to record. You can swipe down at the top of your iPhone and hit screen record, and it'll save it in your photos file, the entire whatever platform you're recording on. So it doesn't matter if it's Discord, anything, absolutely anything. You can screen record it to your phone. Now you have the audio. It's just a matter of taking that audio and editing his voice after that fact.
Okay, do like he doesn't have an iPhone.
Didn't she just buy an expensive phone?
Oh shit, I can't hear anything anyone's saying. That's iPhone too. I'm like, what the fuck? I can't hear people half the time.
Yeah, that's just Twitter. My iPhone XR does the same thing. Twitter Spaces.
Yeah, I heard someone else tell me that tonight. I thought buying a fancy iPhone would make things better.
Really much. I mean, the pictures are better.
Yeah, Elon needs to fix his shit.
I think Logan finished.
It's cleanup time.
Man, you guys are cracking me up right now. Holy shit, I think I'm crying.
Belly button is
Gross.
Again, Twitter Spaces are the most glitchy fucking apps I've ever seen.
That's awesome that you know about apps, though. I wouldn't know the difference, so I'm sitting here thinking I need to buy an expensive phone to fix this shit. Lobo, stupid app. But at least my camera's better. At first, I had the iPhone 14 Plus, the brand new one. It was super nice, but like, I got this great deal where I could get for like $500. I could get the iPhone 13, 25. And I took it like, I mean, it's $500 for a nice phone. I used to get Android. I've been with Android for a long time. Well, other than like my early 20s, I had Sprint, but I've been doing Android and Boost. And I thought that was what the problem was. But, you know, with this phone and this carrier, I do good service with one bar. Like, I can have full bars of Boost and not get anything. And this phone does take better pictures, so I'm not gonna. It's gonna be interesting to see the difference in having an iPhone as opposed to Android for so long. Welcome to the club.
What up, Rabbi Rothschild? Oh, you're speaker. Yeah, I'm listening.
Like right now, is anybody talking? Because I can't hear anything.
I can't hear you.
It should also Pride Month because my cosmopolitan came a Pride mission. Is that a joke? That was a good joke. I wish it was. Why I get cosmopolitan in my mouth, I never fucking heard it. I get it, and I actually do like to use the fake scent. You know, you rub the page on your arm and on your neck, and like you smell like flowers and shit. I do use it for that, and it's probably not like just lots of dudes with skimpy clothes on. I live in North Carolina. If I knew how to do the thing where you post pictures up to the what is that? Like you guys call it something where like people are just yeah. I don't know how to do that. I've been told how to do it once or twice, and I still don't know how to do it.
You can also do live video feeds. Apparently, it's been there since 2015. I had no idea. Apparently, if you go to the Plus and make a tweet, it'll give you the option to bring up your camera and just swipe left until it says live. Go live on Twitter.
Or you could use OBS and the restream option and use the Twitter account log in there, and then you have more advanced streaming features. It's really awesome. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm streaming from OBS to Twitter and Twitch right now.
That's crazy, you guys, because I just found out if I'm talking on here, there's this thing. It looks like a magic wand. If I press on it, there's this button, and then it also says standard forward and voice, and I can do this. I just found that out. Oh, sorry. Did you guys hear all that? No, actually, I just rescued a puppy. I have a new puppy. So I've been talking like how I was just talking about the rescue thing last night on a Twitter space. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a degenerate right now. I'm off until July, and I'm like retarded.
So give it a try. Go to our website. You can sign up that way. Profiles and subscriptions. You can sign up that way. And if you live in Canada, you can sign up to become an insider now as well. Now, here's something for you to stay in safe. Copywiki.com. That's a new
What I am loving these emojis. That's cool. I remember when emojis first came out. I was pretty young. And I was like, man, let's fucking play. And like now, they've grown on me. I like them. Look at this.
under your tongue. Suppress appetite and craving with proven fat-fighting properties. While you choose what you eat with our free diet.
I can tell you I'm laughing without actually laughing. Watch.
I started this product within 6 days. I was down 23 pounds without exercise. Taking the weight magic, capsule, and drop. I don't have the craving that you traditionally would have. This product is spectacular.
It was funny. I was at a Thai restaurant with Nick Pope, and this Air Force guy joking about leaning from like bok choy. Watch out for the bok choy. It's like a vegetable. It looks like a dick. Chicago or was it Brooklyn? I don't know. It was like, it's like a bunch of big black cocks. I was like, Mom. I was like, that's your perception. Like, it doesn't have to look like big black cocks. You are such a god. You can see it's a art. You know, no matter what.
mean, copyright sometimes. You know what I'm talking about? It was all over the hashtag media, which is the hashtag doing. They're like, check out this perverted art. They just built this town paid millions of dollars because of the perverted millions of exaggeration. God damn, man, like, like a bunch of black dicks. That's awesome. I collect instruments. We both collect instruments, sweetheart. Those are mine just as much as they are yours. I pay for them. You need to learn how to share. Come on. Well, I did buy the electric piano. That's mine.
I would like to nothing more than that. I can help you if you want in times of emergency. That would be an interesting interview, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's just before you judge me that I'm a terrible mom. My kids are home.
Unlike a lot of these people I cover, these the billionaires and corporate leaders, he has a special on his mind and he's just left it out there and he doesn't have to go on a hammer and chill around it. That's true. 44 billion people on Twitter.
I think that's a different space.
You have it?
Oh, yeah, it's totally
Pretty bad idea at the time, too.
Schools are indoctrination camps.
Pretty horribly. Let's go
Oh my
back to
God,
the
the
phones.
bad,
Let's go to Carl in the
so
box.
fucking bad.
Hey, Carl, go ahead, sir.
And you're right. Like the whole thing with the school, the school bell. I watched a documentary about it. It's like supposed to teach our American kids, at least I know that much. I don't know about other countries, but it's supposed to teach us with home bell. To learn how to work in factories. Like that's in home work is actually it came up with as a punishment. I'm like, oh my God, like these tests and these shits and these fucking homework. I used to have to sign a waiver when my kids went to public school that I'm not gonna let my kids do homework. I'm not gonna force them to do homework because that's bullshit. Unless it's like a super difficult project with involves creativity and kids these days they're online so much. I think it's great to like get them out of that and do creative stuff. And I was like, you know, if you're gonna tell me like I'm stupid.
Is it still called homework if you're public school?
Hell no, dude. I never made my kids do homework when they were in public school. And I signed waivers when I was in school. And I would have been a woke person. I was
Yosh.
well, not 100%. On the certain things, I was
Yosh, like,
you know, like everyone used to like owls.
I was
I
at this
like
car,
owls.
actually.
Back when I was cool. Like, I like fucking like, I mean, I like owls now, but I don't have like a chest full of little owl
You have to
coins.
queef? No food allowed. Earthquake down USA type. It is
Fell asleep after
ever.
you know.
What in the fuck? Yosh.
Yeah. I go back to work.
Yosh. Hey, baby. How you doing, baby? Hey, Mungo Park.
You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
TRILLIONAIRE makes sustainable clothing. Yep. His shipping company FedEx has set a goal of having carbon neutral operations by 2040. Great news. This sustainability effort makes Quentin very happy. Nice. FedEx, where now meets next. Hi, I'm Matt Albers, host of the Pirate History Podcast. The men and women of the golden age of piracy are some of the most infamous and often misunderstood characters in all of human history. You know their names: Man Bunny, Henry, Captain Kidd, Blackbeard. Do you know their
Motto
stories?
should be federal
Stories. Every
federal
podcast we examine these pirates sail the high seas in search of plunder and adventure and revenge. If you'd like to hear the stories of the real men and women who went on the account and sailed under the black flag, join us on the Pirate History Podcast. When I started doing research for this podcast, the intention was to gather information about Alvar Nunez Cabeza de Vaca. Cabeza de Vaca's journey through southwestern North America in the early 1500s is a great tale, but the beginnings of his story is intertwined and really dominated by a man named Panfilo de Narvaez. Narvaez was a Spanish conquistador, but more importantly, he was a bad conquistador. More often than not, when these guys get lost in history, they set off on some wild expedition and never are heard from again. And in reality, Narvaez did exactly that. He went out looking for gold and never came back. However, some of his men did return, and one of those was the aforementioned Cabeza de Vaca. And Cabeza de Vaca's amazing story is really a continuation of a story that Narvaez began. I contemplated making Narvaez's story part of the Cabeza de Vaca podcast, but after looking at Narvaez's life, I thought there was enough to justify an entire podcast just on him, even if it's not a story of success and accomplishment. So this episode of Explorers is going to be about the life of Panfilo de Narvaez. Then I'll follow up with the life of Alvar Nunez Cabeza de Vaca, sort of an extension of the Narvaez podcast. Okay, all that said, it is time to get going. And to start, I'm going to highlight the usual caveat here, asking for apologies on my horrible Spanish. I know I do this most every podcast, but I sort of just cringe when I hear myself say names in other languages. And I know that others are probably cringing as well. So forgive me. That aside, let's talk Panfilo de Narvaez. Narvaez was born in Spain. The year of his birth is disputed, as some records indicate it was 1470, while others say it was 1478. He was from a well-to-do, probably noble family, and he would enter military service as a youth. He was described as being tall and having an authoritative personality. Other than that, there's not a lot known about the man's younger years. Narvaez would make his way into the history books as a player in the conquest of Jamaica and Cuba in the early 1500s. So, backing up a little bit, Christopher Columbus headed the first European to come to Jamaica, then called Santiago by the Spanish in 1494. But the Spanish had first settled in Hispaniola and Puerto Rico. They wouldn't turn their eyes to Jamaica until 1509, when an expedition under Juan de Esquivel set sail for the island. The first Spanish settlement would be founded later that year at St. Anne's Bay. Esquivel is known for leading the Equate massacre in Hispaniola in 1503. There, the Spanish slaughtered the native peoples after they resisted his troops. Men, women, and children were hanged and knifed to death. Others had their hands and feet cut off. Slavery followed for those that survived. It was a brutal display, and unfortunately all too common during this time period, as the Spanish had come for gold and profit, and native Indians were just in the way, or a tool to extract that profit. Panfilo de Narvaez would be an officer in Esquivel's force when they went to Jamaica in 1509. Not much is known about the conquest of the island, but the combination of warfare and disease would effectively wipe out the native population. Narvaez would do a commendable job, at least in the eyes of the Spanish, because in 1511 he would be given a role in the conquest of Cuba, the next island the Spanish had set their sights on. The commander of this expedition was Diego Velasquez de Cuellar, a relative of Narvaez's. Narvaez would be given command of some units on the eastern end of the island, and it is here that he solidified his reputation as a particularly cruel and merciless man. In 1513, Narvaez led his troops to the village of Caldao. According to Bartolome de las Casas, a Dominican friar who was with Narvaez at the time, there were upwards of 3,000 native Indians in the village. They came out and presented food to the Spanish and squatted down as was their custom in a way to show their defeat. Narvaez and his men would proceed to go on a rampage, killing hundreds, maybe thousands of men, women, and children. De las Casas protested, but Narvaez only gloated about the killings. He told the priest, quote, "How does your honor like what these our Spaniards have done?" End quote. The priest, De las Casas, replied, quote, "That I command you and them to the devil." End quote. The subjugation of Cuba was brutal. Thousands would die under Spanish steel. Thousands more would die working in the mines or in the fields of the Spanish lords. Disease would kill the rest, and it would turn Cuba into a wasteland and force the Spanish to begin importing slaves to the island. As a reward for his participation in the conquest, Rabbi was given extensive land grants and public offices in Cuba. The man now fades from the public eye for a few years, but he will reemerge in 1520. But before we go to 1520, let's take a step back to 1518. Hernan Cortez had been granted a charter to go to Mexico by the governor of Cuba, Diego Velasquez. Cortez had his eyes on the mighty Aztec Empire. But before Cortez could leave with his expedition, his charter was revoked by the governor, as the governor did not trust the independent-minded Cortez. Cortez ignored the revocation and headed to Mexico anyhow in February of 1519. Later that year, Cortez would dismiss Velasquez's authority and put himself under the direct command of the King of Spain. Well, Velasquez wasn't just going to take this line down. He declared Cortez a traitor and in 1520 sent a force of over 1,000 men to Mexico under the command of his trusted ally and relative, Panfilo de Narvaez. Despite greatly outnumbering Cortez, Narvaez would get trounced in Mexico. After landing his force, he couldn't dislodge a garrison of soldiers loyal to Cortez and their crews. Thus, he headed to the town of Zapopan. On May 27, 1520, Cortez, outnumbered and outgunned, surprised Narvaez by marching his men through a driving rain. He seized Narvaez's artillery and horses and essentially trapped Narvaez in St. Paul's main temple. He then lured many of Narvaez's troops over to his side with promises of riches from the Aztec Empire. In the end, Narvaez was defeated, and he would be badly wounded in the fighting, losing an eye. It was a humiliating defeat. Narvaez had not just lost the battle and his eye, he had lost his entire command of Cortez, who would go on to become one of the most famous conquistadors in history. So, Narvaez would spend 2 years in prison in Veracruz and not be released until Cortez was in complete command of Mexico, both in fact as well as in the eyes of the Spanish crown. After his release, he would sail to Spain and plot his return. Over the next few years, word of the riches of Mexico and the Aztec Empire came to Spain. Opportunists emerged, eager to be the next man to find and conquer a land in the New World, brimming with gold and jewels. And Panfilo de Narvaez was just like all the other wannabe Cortezes. He seemed to have gotten it into his head that Florida was his ticket to riches. And despite his humiliation in Mexico at the hands of Cortez, he appears to have had some sway at the Spanish court. Thus, on December 25th, 1526, King Charles granted Narvaez a charter to claim the area that is now the Gulf Coast of the United States for Spain. Narvaez was given a year to gather his army. His orders were to establish at least 2 towns of 100 people each, and garrison 2 additional forts anywhere along the coast. Like most of the expeditions to the New World during this era, it would be financed by private investors. Narvaez used his own riches to seed the expedition, but he would recruit many other willing investors. The promise of riches, such as those acquired from the Aztecs, bring them into the fold. So Narvaez had his charter as well as his financing. Next, he had to assemble his army. For his staff, the Spanish crown would appoint Alvaro Núñez Cabeza de Vaca as the treasurer and second in command. But Cabeza de Vaca was not Narvaez's appointee. Cabeza de Vaca's role would be to serve as the eyes and ears and the bookkeeper of the expedition on behalf of the Spanish crown. Thus, over the next couple of years, we will find times where Narvaez and Cabeza de Vaca are at odds. In the next podcast, we will dive deeper into Cabeza de Vaca's younger years. But for now, we just need to know that he was born to minor nobility. He would make a name for himself as a soldier and politician. And for this expedition, it would be his job to look out for the interests of the Spanish crown. I also want to note that Cabeza de Vaca would later pen an account of this expedition, so what we know about it is primarily drawn from his writings. Now, back to the expedition. There would be some other interesting people involved, including an Aztec prince who was named Don Pedro by the Spanish, and there would be 5 priests led by a Franciscan friar, Padre Juan Suarez. Narvaez would assemble a force of about 600 men for his expedition to the New World, including 450 soldiers. The rest were sailors and slaves and even wives, as married men did not travel to the New World without their spouses. But let us be clear about things. While Narvaez had orders to establish colonies and forts, the lure was plunder for these men. They had come for gold and glory, but mostly gold. The Narvaez expedition, which is how history has remembered this affair, departed Spain on May 27, 1527. As with many Spanish expeditions to the New World, the fleet would stop at the Canary Islands to take on additional provisions before making the long voyage to the Caribbean. Narvaez's fleet reached the town of Santo Domingo on the island of Hispaniola in August of 1527. It was here that the fleet first heard of the fate of a recent expedition led by Lucas Vasquez de Ayllón. In 1526, Ayllón had led 600 colonists up the North American coast with the intention of establishing a colony. Ayllón would select a spot in present-day Georgia to start his colony, although the exact location has never been identified. It would be the first European colony in what is the present-day United States. But Ayllón's settlement lasted only 3 months. The colonists quickly ran out of food and provisions, and thus malnutrition, sickness, and disease set in. They also encountered problems with the local native Indians. Ayllón himself would die before the year was out, along with many of the colonists. The survivors, which numbered only about 150 of the original 600 settlers, would return to Hispaniola that winter. So here's Narvaez touting the future of his expedition, talking about gold and great times. But in the streets of Santo Domingo, there was a different story being told by the survivors of the Ayllón expedition. There was no gold. There was only hunger, conflict, and hardship. Thus, Narvaez's men began to desert. Within a month, more than 140 would take a powder. The expedition would sail to Cuba in September, and since Narvaez had a home and family on the island, his plan was to use his connections to add supplies, as well as men and horses. Once in Cuba, Narvaez would strike a deal to purchase some horses from a wealthy friend. The horses were located at the town of Trinidad in Cuba. He dispatched Cabeza de Vaca in 2 ships to get the horses. Cabeza de Vaca would reach Trinidad on October 30th. He would get the horses as well as add some additional provisions and crew. But then a hurricane struck, and both ships would sink. 60 men were killed, as well as 20 of the horses. All of the supplies that had been purchased were lost as well. Cabeza de Vaca and about 30 men would survive the storm because they had been ashore at the time it had struck. They would later rejoin Narvaez. So, with his expedition already in the hold 2 ships and a couple hundred men, Narvaez decided it was time to recruit. He would spend the next 4 months recruiting new men, buying horses and supplies, plus additional ships to add to the fleet. By mid-February, Narvaez had 400 men and 80 horses. The winter depleted much of the fleet's supplies, and so Narvaez sent one of his new ships to Havana to obtain more provisions. Narvaez and his 5 ships, which included 4 ships, like the caravels or carracks, and 1 brigantine, gathered at Cienfuegos before the departure. One of the new recruits into the expedition was a local pilot by the name of Morello. The man had claimed to have extensive knowledge of the Gulf Coast. However, 2 days after departing Cienfuegos, the entire fleet ran aground on some shoals off the coast. Of Cuba. They would be stuck there for 2 to 3 weeks, depleting the fleet's already meager provisions. Finally, in the second week of March, a storm swelled the seas, freeing the ships. Narvaez and his fleet battled storms as they rounded the western tip of Cuba and made for Havana. The intention was to meet up with the ship which had departed for the city the previous month. But Mother Nature had other plans. Another storm blew the fleet into the Gulf, and Narvaez elected to skip everything to Cuba and press forward with landing his men on the continent. On April 12th, 1528, the fleet spotted land north of what is now Tampa Bay. The pilot, Morello, told Narvaez that a great harbor was not far away, so the fleet headed south toward this supposed harbor. I want to mention that you can see a map marking the travels of the Narvaez expedition on our website, explorerspodcast.com. You might want to take a look at it just to get an idea of where we're going on this trip.
Quentin here runs a sustainable clothing brand. Hi there. He's excited that his shipping company FedEx has set a goal of having carbon neutral operations by 2040. Impressive. When an influencer tweeted about his recycled bamboo t-shirts, Quentin unexpectedly became quite popular. I'll take it. He uses FedEx to reach new customers around the globe while making Earth a priority. FedEx, where now meets next.
On April 14th, the fleet would come to Boca Ciega Bay, just north of Tampa Bay. The Spanish saw signs of civilization here, including earthen mounds and buildings. The next day, Narvaez would land 300 men near what is a bad start after months and months of delays. But, of course, the goodwill would last all of one whole day, because the next morning, Narvaez gathered together his men and the natives and read out loud the requerimiento, or the requirement of 1513. The requerimiento was a declaration that the Spanish would read aloud in Spanish to the native peoples of the New World, telling them that their lands and property now belonged to the Spanish crown by order of the Pope. Oh yes, and they would have to become Catholics. If they refused, they were enemies of God and Spain. The requerimiento was usually greeted with a mixture of confusion and outright hostility, and the reaction from the locals in this situation was no different. Some ran off, some got angry, others told the Spanish to just leave. After this, Narvaez ordered Murillo to sail the brigantine, which was the smallest of the fleet's vessels, south to the great harbor that he talked about. If he was unsuccessful, he was to proceed to Cuba, and there he was to get the other ship, the one that had been sent back in February for supplies, and bring it back to Florida. So Narvaez had landed in Florida. The next job was to find loot, because that is what conquistadors did. Well, maybe not find loot, but at least look for loot. Narvaez found that the local natives had little gold, but they did tell him the story of a wealthy nation to the north, the Appalachian, up near what is today the Florida Panhandle. And here we go. The Spanish are now falling for the old city of gold trick. They come to a native village, they say, give us your gold. The natives reply, hey, we don't have any gold. But you know who does? Just go that way, way far away from us. They're loaded with gold. Good luck. And of course, the Spanish fall for it every time. So Narvaez set aside any ideas of building a colony or fort, as he had gold on his brain. On May 1st, 1528, Narvaez decided to split up his force. He would lead an army of 300 men north, including 40 horses from Fort Appalachia. His remaining 100 men would sail up the coast and eventually meet up with the land force. Cabeza de Vaca, Narvaez's second in command, argued against the plan, saying it was foolish to break up the expedition at such an early stage. He said they needed a secure and populated base at a harbor, plus they needed more food and provisions. Also, heading off into the interior without an interpreter was just downright stupid. But Cabeza de Vaca would be outvoted by the rest of the officers. Like Narvaez, de Vaca refused the assignment as it was a matter of honor, he later wrote. He said that since he had argued against the overland excursion, he didn't want anyone to question his bravery. So he went with the land force. We should note that Narvaez's expedition was low on supplies, particularly food. Cabeza de Vaca said that each man had 2 pounds of biscuits and half a pound of bacon, nothing more. In reality, the wise move would have been to first establish a base of operations. The Spanish needed not only a safe place for the men, but a stable source of food and a harbor to protect the ships from the area's many storms. But as we have seen, arrogance combined with lust for gold is a powerful thing, and wisdom was Narvaez's strongest suit here. So Narvaez and his men would set out overland. They would march 2 weeks before coming to an Indian village north of the Willacoochee River in central Florida. There they attacked the natives, enslaving some and helping themselves to the village supply of food, primarily corn. Narvaez sent men down the river to the Gulf, but there was no sign of the fleet. So Narvaez ordered his men to continue their march north toward Appalachia. On June 18th, the Spanish came to the lands of the Timucua, a collection of 35 chiefdoms located in northern Florida. The Timucua greeted the Spanish cautiously, but not with hostility. One of the chiefs was pleased to hear the Spanish were heading toward the Appalachie, as they were his enemies. The Timucua would provide food for the Spanish, something they desperately needed, and the Spanish would give the Indians bells and beads as gifts. However, Narvaez and the Spanish would soon grow cautious when they found a deserted Timucua village. The expedition was worried the locals were waiting to ambush them. Narvaez managed to capture several of the Timucua, and using them as guides, was able to successfully exit their lands. On June 25th, the Narvaez expedition entered Appalachian territory. They attacked the first village that they came upon, a place with 40 homes. They captured several natives and a large amount of corn, but there was none of the gold that had hoped for. And it wasn't long before the Spanish were at war with the Appalachian. For the next 25 days, the natives would use a form of guerrilla warfare against the Spanish, firing arrows at the invaders and then melting into the background. The Spanish dared not follow. Also, the Spanish guns were slow, and the native guns and crossbows. Cabeza reported that the Indian foes were strong, able to pierce a man's body, even shooting through the Spaniards' armor. He also said that the Indians were accurate with their bows. This claim was backed up by one of chainmail. One great advantage that the Spanish did have was their horses, which terrified the natives. Massive and forest. Narvaez would send out scouting expeditions in search of the rich Appalachian cities, but they would all return empty-handed. Soon he realized that there was no gold and no riches. The Appalachian were an agricultural people, and the great treasure they possessed was the corn that they harvested. With his men weakening by the day from the constant fighting, as well as from sickness, and his supplies dwindling, Narvaez decided to head south toward the coast. The natives who the Spanish had captured said there was a village called Out near the coast that had a lot of food. So Narvaez and his men set out to the south, across a swamp. And for the next 2 weeks, the Spanish slogged their way toward the coast, fighting the Appalachian with each step. Cabeza reported that he was injured by an arrow during his trek. The Spanish eventually found the village of Out, but it was abandoned. There were some much needed bugs running. At this point, the Narvaez expedition was in a desperate situation. Many of the men were sick, and Narvaez himself was ill, and there was talk of cannibalism. There was also mutiny in the air, as some of the cavalry in the expedition wanted to take their horses and abandon the rest of the party. Cabeza de Vaca, however, got wind of the plans and went to the men and convinced them they were better off staying together. In early August, the beleaguered expedition would reach the Gulf Coast, likely around present-day St. Mark's, Florida. But where do you go from here? Cuba was 600-700 miles away across the water, and there were no ships. Also, there was little food, and illness was rampant. A full third of the men were so sick at this point that they could barely function. The lack of a base of operations was coming back to haunt Narvaez. There was simply no safe place to go to. Instead, the expedition would have to weigh the various options. They could head south along the coast and hope their ships would find them. But that was a dangerous gamble. There was no guarantee the ships were in the area. They may have headed to Cuba already. And even if they hadn't, no one knew how long it would take for them to be discovered. By then, starvation might take the entire trip. Finally, one of the men suggested taking boats to sail to Mexico. They could reforge some of their weapons and armor so that they could make the necessary tools to build the boats. Boats would not have to sail on the open sea, just along the coast. With no better option, on August 4th, 1528, the plan was hatched. The forge was constructed out of the log using deerskins for the bellows. The Spanish proceeded to make hammers and saws and nails out of their iron gear. Caulking was made from the pitch of pine trees. Shirts were sewn together for sails. The expedition's horses were killed one by one, primarily for food, but for materials as well. The horsehair was used to braid ropes, and the skins converted into water storage bags. The Spanish noblemen, the sacrifice of their horses was a great one. The war horse was valued and respected by the Spanish nobility. In honor of the animals, the Spanish named the bay where they were building the boats the Bay of Horses. To sustain themselves, the men not only ate their horses, but they raided the local Indian villages. Unfortunately, the attacks led to retaliation to the natives. On one day, in sight of the main camp, the Appalachian attacked a group of Spanish collecting shellfish, killing 10 men. Finally, on September 20th, the Spanish were ready. At this point, they lost about 60 of their 300 men due to sickness and warfare. Cabeza de Vaca reported that they had constructed 5 boats. The boats had a shallow draft and were about 33 feet long with a sail and oars, but they were more raft than ship. As noted, the vessels were not made for the open sea, but for sailing along the coast. Each boat had about 50 men, and they would be so tightly packed that the men could barely move, and there were no seamen or pilots or navigators to help with the sailing. I also want to mention that the Spanish had a really poor sense of distance. They did not think Mexico was that far off, when in reality, they would have to sail well over 1,000 miles to reach Spanish territory. The voyage along the coast would be a brutal one for the expedition as thirst and starvation began to claim more and more men. The water skins they had made rotted and became worthless. Food was difficult to find. When possible, men would walk along the coast due to the cramped quarters. Also, it was common for the boats to come to the shore in the evenings, allowing the men to stretch out and sleep rather than to scrunch together on the raft. But such luxuries were not always feasible as the land was filled with dangers, such as poisonous snakes, alligators, and hostile natives. After 30 days sailing, the boats were stranded on an island waiting out a storm. It lasted 5 days. The men would become desperate and start to drink salt water, and 5 of them would die of thirst. Desperate now, the flotilla approached an Indian village along the coast. The natives offered water and fish, but then they attacked the Spanish. Narvaez was wounded in the fighting. Cabeza de Vaca and fish, but then they attacked the Spanish. Narvaez was wounded in the fighting. Cabeza de Vaca reported that he and 50 men were attacked 3 times in a single night, and everyone was wounded in some manner. They were saved when the Indians finally ran out of arrows, and the Spanish were able to drive off the attackers. In another encounter with the natives, 2 members of the expedition were taken hostage. Narvaez would be forced to leave them when fighting broke out. Finally, as the expedition was getting weaker and weaker from the long months of no food or water, Narvaez basically abandoned his men. The Spanish were in the area where the Mississippi River enters the Gulf of Mexico. Currents into the ocean are powerful here, and the Spanish struggled to keep their small boats from being forced out to sea, especially when the winds from the north swept down on the area. Cabeza de Vaca said that Narvaez had the best boat. His men were the healthiest and most robust. Over the course of several days, the boats, however, became more and more separated in the strong currents, and Cabeza de Vaca begged Narvaez to keep the small flotilla together. The stronger boats would be able to help the weaker ones. But Narvaez refused. He told Cabeza de Vaca, quote, that each of us should do what seemed best to save his life, end quote. Thus, Narvaez essentially left everyone to their own devices. Narvaez would allow the other 4 boats to fall behind, and eventually he would sail out of sight of the rest of his men. It would be a permanent separation. Now, Cabeza de Vaca and the others never saw Narvaez again, but they did learn his fate, which we will get to in a minute. But for now, let's just stay with Cabeza de Vaca and the remainder of the Spanish force. Shortly after Narvaez ditched his fellow Spaniards, the other vessels struggled to get back to land. For days, they would fight the currents, trying to reach land. Food was nearly gone, the weather was cold, and ultimately a storm hit. In all of this, 2 of the 4 rafts would be lost. They may have been swept out to sea, or perhaps they came ashore at some point. One source says that one of the rafts made landfall, but all of the men were so weak they offered no resistance and were killed by the Indians. In the end, the men from the 2 boats were never heard from again. Cabeza de Vaca said that his boat struggled terribly to keep afloat. The men were barely able to do anything as they were so weak from thirst and hunger. Cabeza de Vaca's boat, as well as one other one, managed to find landfall, historians believe, at an island near present-day Galveston, Texas. Between the 2 boats, there were roughly 80 survivors. The date was November 6, 1528. The Spanish named the island Isle of Misfortune. Cabeza de Vaca said that he and his men drank rainwater and roasted some corn that they had found. Here's what he said about his hunger. Quote, I can say for myself that I had not eaten anything but parched corn since the previous day. Sometimes I had to eat it raw. Although the horses were slaughtered while we were building the boats, I was never able to eat them, and I had eaten fish fewer than 10 times. End quote. This was a shattered group of men. The local Indians would find the beleaguered Spanish, but there would be no confrontation. The Spanish were in no shape for fighting. Cabeza de Vaca said that of the men on his boat, only 6 could even stand. The Indians would bring the Spanish food and water, and they would eventually recover. The Spanish would try and continue their voyage in their boats, but one would capsize and attempt to get out to sea. They would drown. And the other boat, which was heavily damaged in the storm that descended to the island, sank when they tried to sail it. So Cabeza de Vaca and about 80 men were stranded, and not many would live the next few months. Sickness, disease, and starvation plagued all but 15 of the Spanish that winter. Some of the men turned to cannibalism to survive. The remaining men, including Cabeza de Vaca, would be captured by the local Indians. Within a few years, only a handful would be alive. But those remaining men have a fascinating story, a story that I will detail in our next podcast on the life of Cabeza de Vaca, the leader of the surviving Spaniards. So let's jump back about the fate of Panfilo de Narvaez, the leader of the Narvaez expedition. It would take time, but Cabeza de Vaca would learn of the fate of Narvaez. It seems that Narvaez had, at one point, put his men ashore for the night, something he noted was not uncommon. Narvaez had stayed on the ship along with 2 men. During the night, a strong wind, perhaps a storm, carried the boat out to sea, and with only 3 men on the boat, they would have been captive to the strong winds and the powerful currents. Panfilo de Narvaez would be pushed out to sea and never heard from again. The men from the boat who had been on shore were stranded, and they would slowly die from starvation. Eventually, they turned on each other, even killing the man who had replaced Narvaez. The men would then turn to cannibalism to survive. In time, only 1 man was left, Hernando de Escobar. He would be killed by the natives, but not before coming across a survivor from another of the boats, a man named Figueroa. Escobar passed on the details of Narvaez's death to Figueroa, who in turn detailed to Cabeza de Vaca. So Panfilo de Narvaez was dead, lost at sea. His expedition had been a disaster. There were no colonies established, no forts built, and there certainly were no riches to be found. Before we wrap this podcast, I do want to jump back and recount the fate of the ships in Narvaez's fleet. If you recall, Morello had taken a brigantine to search out a harbor. Well, after his little excursion, he came back to find Narvaez and his men gone. So he had continued out to Havana, and there he had picked up their expedition's 5th ship and returned to Tampa Bay. So with these 2 ships at Tampa Bay, let's turn our attention to the 3 ships that had been ordered to sail up the Gulf Coast. It turns out these ships had done just that, but they had never found any signs of Narvaez and his men. I mean, any risky proposition to discard. The ships never really knew exactly where Narvaez was in the expedition, but no luck. Which is not a shocker, since Narvaez and his troops had traveled mostly inland for over 2 months. Thinking them lost, the ships returned to Tampa Bay, meeting up with Morello and the other 2 ships. The 5 vessels would search for Narvaez for months, but ultimately they gave up on the man and headed to Mexico. So, back to Panfilo de Narvaez. To me, the man represents the very worst aspects of an explorer, not that he ever really had a desire to explore. Narvaez was ruthless and authoritative, not to mention greedy. The comments of the priest, Bartolomé de las Casas, indicates that the man seemed to take pleasure in his cruelty, and that is never a good sign. And even before his 1527 expedition, the guy had not really been that successful, unless you count slaughtering helpless natives as being a success. Narvaez failed miserably in Mexico, being outwitted by Cortez and abandoned by his own men. And then his own expedition displayed an immense lack of imagination, not to mention judgment. Sailing without his 5th ship, going places without adequate supplies, separating his ships from his main force, and probably most importantly, he never established a feasible base of operations, a place where his ships and men could find a safe haven. It was a recipe for disaster. Also, once Narvaez actually got down to business, he showed little tact or skill or sound judgment. He let his greed get the better of him, and he took the bait and let his expedition get lured north, looking for his mythical city and other successful conquistadors such as Balboa and Cortez. The latter 2 men were shrewd in their dealing with the natives. They cultivated allies and exploited weaknesses, and realized it was a fool's errand trying to do everything on their own. Narvaez was the opposite, threatening and bullying from the start. He created no safe haven and cultivated no allies. He made his expedition a running target for the Indians of the region. I do want to reiterate that much of what we know about the Narvaez expedition comes from Cabeza de Vaca, who didn't like Narvaez and pretty much cast him as a villain. Thus, we need to look at Cabeza de Vaca's tale with some caution. But even then, if you examine what we know about the rest of Narvaez's life, his actions in Cuba, Jamaica, and Mexico, it's not a pretty picture, and it makes his actions, as described by Cabeza de Vaca, totally within his character. I think it's pretty clear that I don't like Narvaez. I'm not really sure who could like him. He seems to be a pretty despicable person, vain and cruel and lacking in real judgment and vision. That's not the kind of guy you want leading men into the unknown. In most cases, guys like Narvaez just get lost in history. As we said earlier, they march off into the wild and they never come back. But the Narvaez expedition is unique, and that was really the start of one of the great stories of exploration, the 8-year journey of Alvaro Nunez Cabeza de Vaca. And as noted earlier, Cabeza de Vaca will be the focus of our next podcast, so I hope you look forward to it. Otherwise, that is it. The life of Spanish conquistador Panfilo de Narvaez. An example of a really crappy explorer and a really crappy human being. So, join us next time for a continuation of his expedition as we catch up with Alvaro Nunez Cabeza de Vaca and his epic journey home. In the meantime, at explorerspodcast.com, you'll find a link to Cabeza de Vaca's writings. They are available free online, as well as some other interesting resources. And finally, if you get the chance, head on over to iTunes or wherever you get your podcast feed. We would appreciate it if you could write a review or give a rating to Explorers. Doing so is a great way to show your support, and it helps raise the podcast profile. Again, thank you for your support, and thank you for listening. We will see you next time for the podcast on Alvaro Nunez Cabeza de Vaca.
The French Revolution set Europe ablaze. It was an age of enlightenment and progress, but also of tyranny and oppression. It was an age of glory and an age of tragedy. One man stood above it all. This was the age of Napoleon. I'm Everett Rummage, host of the Age of Napoleon podcast. Join me as I examine the life and times of one of the most fascinating and enigmatic characters in modern history. Look for the Age of Napoleon wherever you find your podcasts.
Face of Nefertiti, or admire the delicate features of Queen Nefertiti. If you have, you'll probably like the History of Egypt podcast. Every week, we explore tales of this ancient culture. The History of Egypt is available wherever you get your podcasting links. Come, let me introduce you to the world of ancient Egypt.
You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
8:30 p.m. That was like 8:45 p.m. This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Are you thinking more about how to tighten up your budget these days? Drivers who save by switching to Progressive save over $700 on average, and customers can qualify for an average of 6 discounts when they sign up. Pull off your rate each month goes a long way. Get a quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company in Florence. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2020 and May 2021. Potential savings will vary, discounts vary, and are not available in all states and situations.
Asia, I typically am
Have you ever
a learning person, so I was pretty awake.
Have you marveled
And I work today for these conversations.
or admired the delicate
Yeah, I'm a
features
morning
of
person too, but just like last morning before I got out.
You'll probably like the History of Egypt podcast. Every week, we explore tales of this ancient culture. The History of Egypt is available wherever you get your podcasting
I
links.
was walking downstairs to the area of Senator Logan speaking. Logan, what's up, Logan? Cheers, brother.
Welcome to Explorers. Today we're going to take a look at one of the most unusual journeys of exploration in history, and that is the 8-year trek of Alvaro Nunez Cabeza de Vaca through the southwest of the United States and Mexico in the 1530s. Cabeza de Vaca's journey, which will encompass thousands of miles, is unique because the man never set out to explore. In the wake of the failed expedition of Panfilo de Narvaez, Cabeza de Vaca was stranded on the coast of what is modern-day Texas, and he would spend years living and wandering through the American Southwest and Mexico, trying to return home. The truth is, his trek was not really an expedition of discovery, but one of survival. Yet in the end, it is recognized as one of the most amazing journeys of discovery that the world has ever seen. This podcast is sort of an extension of our previous podcast. There we focused on Panfilo de Narvaez and his expedition, but that story really morphed into a new tale, one centered on Cabeza de Vaca. So with all that said, let us get started. Alvaro Nunez Cabeza de Vaca was born around 1490, give or take a couple of years, in the island de la Frontera in Spain. His maternal family name, Cabeza de Vaca, which means head of a cow, was said to have been associated with an ancestor who, in 1212, had shown the King of Spain a secret mountain pass marked by a cow's skull, which allowed the king to defeat the Moors at the Battle of Las Navas de Tolosa. It's a great story, but probably not true, but it's a little one, so I thought I'd include it in our story. And you know what? You never know. Maybe there is a nugget of truth in it, so that's good enough for me. Anyhow, Cabeza de Vaca's family was of minor nobility. They were not considered rich, but they were not poor either, perhaps comfortable is a good term. There are indications that Cabeza de Vaca's parents died when he was young. I read in his early teens, but the exact age isn't known. Thus, he was raised by a relative, likely his maternal grandfather or his aunt and uncle. We're not sure. As a teen, Cabeza de Vaca would be appointed chamberlain to a noble family. A chamberlain was someone who was in charge of the management of a household or living quarters of a monarch or noble. It's likely he had some training in youth in the arts of war, and in 1511 he enlisted in the army. He would serve with distinction in Italy at the Battle of Ravenna in 1512, then later in Spain during the Civil War in 1520 and 1521. It's believed that he emerged as a political figure in the 1520s, and it's likely he was in favor with the Spanish court during this time. So that takes Cabeza de Vaca up to 1527, the year the Narvaez expedition sailed from Spain to the New World. But let us step back a moment and recount the key events leading up to the Narvaez expedition, as well as the expedition itself. I know this rehashes the last podcast a bit, but I think a quick summary is worth it. In 1519, Hernan Cortez invaded Mexico and defeated the Aztec Empire. This meant gold and lots of it. In the wake of Cortez's victory, others began to search out the next empire in the New World that could bring them rich. One such man was Pedro de Narvaez, a Spanish conquistador. And in 1526, he was given a royal charter to colonize and exploit the lands of the Gulf Coast, roughly Florida to Mexico. I will stop here and suggest that you listen to that podcast on Narvaez if you haven't done so already. It's okay if you haven't, but I think it's a good thing to do if possible. Otherwise, on with Cabeza de Vaca. Cabeza de Vaca would be appointed as the second in command of the Narvaez expedition, but he was not there as Narvaez's man, but at the behest of the Spanish crown. Cabeza de Vaca would be the eyes and ears of the king of the expedition. Later, Cabeza de Vaca would write an account of the Narvaez expedition, but I basically consider his writings as two stories. The first one is the account of the Narvaez expedition itself, which we covered in the last podcast, and the second is his life after today. It is from Cabeza de Vaca's writings that we will draw most of what you will hear in today's podcast. So Narvaez, with Cabeza de Vaca in tow, sailed to the Caribbean in 1527. Narvaez would have many missteps, but ultimately he would assemble an army of about 400 men, landing near what is present-day Tampa Bay in the spring of 1528. Against the advice of Cabeza de Vaca, Narvaez would separate his forces, electing to head inland with 300 soldiers in search of the Indian nation, the Appalachi, who supposedly had lots of gold. Narvaez never established a safe base of operations, a decision that would doom him. For more than 3 months, the Narvaez expedition plunged through the swamps and forests of Florida in search of the non-existent city of gold. Their numbers would slowly be chipped away at by warfare with the natives, as well as sickness, disease, and when it became clear that the only thing the Appalachian had in abundance were corn, Narvaez ordered his men to the coast, just south of present-day Tallahassee, Florida. During the trek to the coast, Cabeza de Vaca were included, but it does not appear as very serious. Upon reaching the Gulf Coast, the Spanish took stock of their situation on the brink of starvation. Their ships were nowhere to be seen, and there was no promise the ships would come this far north in search of them. And since Narvaez had never established a base of operations, there was no safe place to head toward. The Spanish could not just stay and wait. Starvation would be the likely result if they did that. Thus, a plan was hatched. They would build 5 boats and sail them west to Mexico. The goal was to reach Spanish-held territory. The closest settlement would likely have been near present-day Tampico, about 1,500 miles away. Although we should note that the Spanish did believe they were much closer. So, in September, the expedition, now down to about 240 men, sailed west. The boats that they would build were not meant for the open sea, but to sail in the shallows along the coast. The journey would be a perilous one, fraught with many dangers. Starvation was the greatest threat, although thirst would be an issue when the boats would come to shore regularly to get fresh water. Disaster would strike the small flotilla in the fall of 1528 when they reached where the Mississippi River pours into the Gulf of Mexico. Here, the currents are powerful. For days, the Spanish struggled to keep from getting pushed out to sea. Their small boats weren't built for such rigors. Narvaez commanded the best of the boats, and he had the healthiest and most robust men. As the boats fought the currents, he would let the other 4 boats fall behind, essentially abandoning his men to their fates. Cabeza de Vaca and the other 4 boats would struggle for days to stay afloat and keep from being swept out to sea. Food was in short supply, and fresh water was limited to the rain that fell. During all of this, a storm struck, and the 4 boats would be separated. We will discuss the fate of each of these boats as best as we know them, but also in the time and manner in which Cabeza de Vaca discovered what happened to each. Some he will find out very quickly what happened, while others will take years to learn their fates. So at this point, this kind of takes us up to the end of our last podcast. And this is really where the story of the Narvaez expedition comes to an end for us. It becomes the story of Albert and Cabeza de Vaca. We'll pick up our narrative as Cabeza de Vaca and his men are struggling to make it to land. So on with the story. As noted, the 5 rafts had been separated during a storm. The weather was cold and windy. Cabeza de Vaca and his boat had been pounded by raging seas for days. The food was almost gone. Cabeza de Vaca said that the men in his boat basically passed out on top of each other. They were so weak. He said that at one point, only he and one other man were even strong enough to take the tiller. Ultimately, they would aim the boat toward the coast and came ashore on a great wave. The men pushed themselves out of the vessel and crawled on their hands and knees down to the beach. The date was November 6th, 1528. Since leaving Florida, Cabeza de Vaca and his men had traveled roughly 650 to 700 miles. Although we don't know the exact landing spot of Cabeza de Vaca, historians generally point to Galveston Island or one of its neighbors, such as Fallon's Island. Both are long barrier islands on the Texas Gulf Coast, about 50 miles southeast of Houston and part of modern-day Galveston. The islands are long and thin, no more than a few miles wide at the most. The mainland is not far from them, in some cases less than a mile. Cabeza de Vaca would name the island Isla Malado, the Isle of Misfortune. At this point, Cabeza de Vaca would have a 40 men with him, and as he was the senior officer, he would be in command. So, with his men shivering and exhausted, Cabeza de Vaca ordered a fire built. What corn the men had, they roasted. Rainwater was gathered to drink. When the men had eaten and warmed themselves, the strongest of the survivors, a man named Lope de Oviedo, was sent off to explore. He would find an Indian village, although there was no one there at the time. Oviedo took several items, including a small pot and some fish, and he headed back to his comrades. However, he was discovered and chased by the natives. Within half an hour, more than 100 Indians would come before the Spanish, all armed with bows and arrows. The Spanish must have looked like a pathetic lot. They were half-starved, weather-beaten, and their clothes were nothing more than rags. Cabeza de Vaca said that his countrymen were so weak that only 6 of them could even stand. Cabeza de Vaca, as well as Alonso de Solis, he was the inspector of mines for the expedition, went toward the Indians in an open and friendly manner. They took some of the few valuables that they still had, beads and bells, and presented them to the natives as a peace offering. The Indians returned the gesture by handing an arrow to them, a sign of friendship. Through sign language, the Indians said that they would return the next day, and most importantly, they indicated that they would bring food. And sure enough, the next morning, the natives returned with fish and edible goods. The women and children would also visit, showing off their beads and bells to the Spaniards. It was a start. The Spanish had easily been killed by the natives, but some simple attempts at friendship paid off, at least for the time being. Reinvigorated, the Spaniards decided to try and continue their journey down the coast. They dug the raft out of the sand and loaded it with all their food and provisions that they had. They stripped themselves naked and vainly tried to get the boat out to sea. Cabeza de Vaca said that they were about the distance of 2 crossbow shots from the shore when a great wave struck them. The second wave followed, and the boat capsized. Alonso de Solis, the mine inspector, and 2 other men would be pulled under and drowned. The rest of the men were thrown from the boat and washed up onto the beach. It was a disaster on top of a disaster. The Spanish had lost everything: their boat, their food, and all their provisions, and even 3 lives. They were in a terrible situation. It was November. Winter was coming, and it was cold and stormy. They had no food, and they had no boat. Cabeza de Vaca wrote that they were closer to death than life. The Indians on the island would take pity on the wretched survivors, bringing in more food and water. And seeing that there were no other options, Cabeza de Vaca asked the natives, who he called the Capoques, to take them to